Ni exposure ni okey ni. Dia single ni ya. Habis tadi. Dengar.
Terima kasih pada semua hadirin dan hadirat yang hadir pada sesi pendengaran awam bagi Prosiding, Peningkatan Bayaran Premium Insurans Kesihatan, Charge Hospital Swasta dan Impak kepada Kesihatan Awam di bawah Kementerian Kewangan, Kementerian Kesihatan dan Bank Negara Malaysia. Ini adalah sesi pendengaran awam yang kedua selepas yang pertama diadakan di Pulau Pinang pada 14 Februari, iaitu minggu lepas. Jadi, seperti yang saya maklumkan sebelum ini, aturannya setiap pengucap akan diberikan 5 minit. Jadi sebelum memulakan pengucapan, dimohon supaya memperkenalkan diri, nama penuh dan juga daripada mana. Maksudnya sama ada mewakili pertubuhan, agensi berkaitan ataupun individu. Sebabkan sesi kali ini akan direkodkan oleh tim laporan prosiding dan akan dimasukkan dalam laporan PAC. Jadi di atas saya perkenalkan selaku moderator pada pagi ini, Wabi Sim Zikzin daripada Ahli Parlimen Bayan Baru. Di sebelah kanan beliau, YB daripada Betong, YB Dr. Richard, Betong Sarawak. Di sebelah kiri beliau, YB Dr. Wira Abdul Rahman daripada Kubang Pasu. Jadi saya tanpa melengahkan masa sebab kita ada masa sampai pukul 12. Saya persilakan YB Sim untuk memulakan sesi pendengar awam kedua bagi Prosiding Peningkatan Bayaran Premium Insurans Kesihatan, Charge Hospital Swasta dan Impak kepada Kesihatan Awam di bawah Kementerian Kewangan, Kementerian Kesihatan dan Bank Negara Malaysia. Silakan YB Sim.
Terima kasih pengerusi majlis, Saudara Johan. Yang saya hormati, Yang Berhormat Dato' Richard, Ahli Parlimen daripada Betong, Sarawak. Yang saya hormati juga Dato' Uraman, Ahli Parlimen daripada Kubang Pasu, Kedah. Saya Sim Sezin, Ahli Parlimen daripada Bayan Baru, Pulau Pinang. Dan hari ini saya amat berbesar hati boleh jumpa ramai yang hadir pada sesi pendengaran awam yang julung-julung kalinya diadakan di Parlimen Malaysia di bawah Parlimen Select Committee, Public Accounts Committee, Parlimen Malaysia. Bagi satu tepukan kepada semua yang hadir. Saya nak mulakan dengan satu pantun lah ya. Okey. Pergi berubat di hospital swasta. Layanan mesra tiada celah. Kos rawatan, ubat-ubatan dan insurans biar selesa agar rakyat tidak merana. Hari ini kita berada di sini. Terima kasih. hari ini kita adakan satu sesi penerangan awam yang dibawa kelola Public Accounts Committee. Kita tahu bahawa kita menghadapi satu masalah kenaikan insurans yang mendadak baru-baru ini. Dan akibat the root cause adalah disebabkan oleh kenaikan medical inflation dan juga charge hospital swasta. Itu sebab rakyat tidak puas hati dan mereka komplain, dan ahli-ahli parlimen ini kita adalah dipilih oleh rakyat dan kita harus menyelesaikan masalah rakyat. Itu sebab kami di bawah PAC kami memulakan prosiding untuk mencari penyelesaian yang tuntas dan juga jangka masa panjang, sustainable solutions. Kita tidak menyalahkan siapa-siapa, kita ingin mencari penyelesaian. It's not a blame game. Kita mahu satu sistem yang bagus. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, I want to share a little bit of my experience. About 2 weeks ago, my mother-in-law, dia menghadapi accident. Dia seorang B40. She was a newspaper seller for 40 years. Recently, she retired. And in a morning, she rode her motorcycle to have a breakfast. But there's a car running at very high speed, knocked her down and ran over her. Okay? So, she was, like a lot of Malaysian, although, is very, not a very rich family, she buy her own insurance. She's B40, a newspaper seller. She bought her own insurance to cover herself. For 40 years, she has never gone into hospital. This is the first time. So I want to acknowledge here, insurance is important, okay? Yeah, Mark Odell is here. We are not, we say that there's a role for insurance policy and policy holders. Apabila dia pergi ke hospital, dia pergi ke satu hospital yang kecil, ya. Dan saya menziarahi beliau, saya dapat tengok bahawa di sana hospital itu ada Melayu, ada Cina, ada India, patient dia. Dan ramai saya tengok parking lot dia. Parking lotnya patient mereka bukan daripada orang yang atas, bukan T20. They come with Myvi, they come with Asia, Proton Saga yang lama-lama. Dia datang. So I can see that hospital swasta, walaupun pada persepsi kita adalah golongan T20 yang mampu, tetapi sebenarnya tidak. Sebenarnya ramai B40 mereka memerlukan perkhidmatan hospital swasta juga, kerana hospital awam memang queue panjang. So we can see that private hospital is important to our healthcare system. So we want now, sekarang kita tahu bahawa kenaikan medical insurance dan juga medical medical inflation, dia telah membebankan sistem sekarang. Jadi perlulah kita mencari penyelesaian yang tuntas dan juga jangka panjang, sustainable solutions for the future. Itu sebab kita adakan pendengaran di hari ini, dan kita mau selepas pendengaran di Pulau Pinang awam di Pulau Pinang dan juga pendengaran awam di Parlimen, ya, kita akan go into closed door, 10 sessions of closed door proceeding dengan industry player to go deep dive into the issues and find a solution. And we want to listen from the industry players to give us solutions and suggestions. Jadi saya tidak ingin panjangkan, today is to listen to you. Jadi saya nak bagi rule lah, ya. Di parlimen ini, ahli-ahli parlimen, saya ingin mengalu-alukan YB Shah Alam, ya, bagi satu tepukan kepada beliau, dan juga YB Kapar, ya, Dr. Halimah. Jadi hari ini kita akan adakan sesi pendengaran, dan kita ada, walaupun kami ahli parlimen, kita di sini dalam dewan pun cakap 5 minit saja. Okay, our speech in parliament, because there are so many members of parliament want to speak. So sometimes our debate is only limited to 5 minutes. So I apply the same rules to everyone lah. Okay? When you speak, number one, everything is recorded. Okay? In the Hansard, you'll be part of the history forever. Okay? What you say will be recorded and it will be in the parliament website. We call it Hansard forever. Okay? So, what you do is, first you introduce yourself. Okay? Nama dan juga kalau daripada organisasi mana, silakan cakap. Lepas tu, you go into your complaints or your suggestions, your whatever that you want to say. Tujuan kita adakan sesi ini adalah untuk mencari penyelesaian. It's not to blame anyone. It's for a policy change. And we need a change for Malaysia and for everyone of us. Terima kasih. Sesi Nandri Banakam. Okey, kita teruskan mula. Ada dua mic. Boleh beratur. Ya, siapa yang nak, sila beratur. Dan I will go one after. Okay, sekarang ramai di sini ya. But I think the fair thing is one here, one here, one here, one here. Okay? No issue. Take your time. We have until 12 noon. Kita boleh bercakap bahasa Malaysia, bahasa kebangsaan dan juga bahasa English pun boleh. Silakan.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity to share with the PAC. Good morning, everyone. My name is Professor Dr. John George. I'm an ex-professor at the University of Malaya Medical Center, and also I was also the national chairman of Government Doctors of MMA, SCOMOS, prior. So just to give you a little background, just 15 seconds. I was in 2000, as chairman, I proposed the formation or the allowance of limited private practice in government, which was approved by Tan Sri Samsudin and JPA and the ministry. And from there, we started the UMSC. The UMSC was started, and the main reason was to retain doctors. And UMSC has been extremely successful. Since it started, many of us were retained and stayed back in rather than going to private. So that is a bit of background. Now, coming to the issues, I have been going to the ground, both with insurance companies, with the Rakyat and others, to find out some of the major problems. And I have summarized them in a document, which I will also give it to you, YB. I will give you the document. So in this, what I noticed, the main issues currently are out-of-pocket expenses, one at the KKM hospitals. In some KKM hospitals, the doctors are willing to do procedures, let's say, but you need a stent. So sometimes they may require a patient to pay for the stent, which can cost up to 7,000, 8,000, even up to 10,000 ringgit. So this is quite a lot of expense for them. They are asked to go to find some tabong, some yayasan, or find some family member or themselves come up with the money. And that's quite a lot of money. That's one. The second problem is affordability of insurance once you're over 65. Once you're over 65, the premiums become probably around 7,000 to 10,000, and at 75, around 14,000. And this is when people cannot afford the premiums no longer. And this means that there must be, from talking to the insurance industry, they seem to say that most people seem to be able to pay up to maybe 5,000, and then after that they find difficulty in paying. So the question is, how do we keep or cap this premium to this amount and till you are of older age, so that, as you mentioned, that you can carry on going to a private hospital and getting your treatment and not have to stop. Because if you stop, then you have to go to the government sector. Now, talking about the government sector during the COVID, they outsourced a lot of operations to the private sector, and this cost millions of dollars. So my proposal is that which I think many have been talking about, and the government is also talking about, is having a tabung Kesihatan Negara or social. So in this tabung, which comes from taxation or whatever sources, which you can decide how you get this tabung, but I've estimated it needs about to pay the KKM payments and also, so what does this cover? So first thing it needs to cover is the KKM out of payments. That means you should be able to claim your stents and everything from the tabung. Don't forget, not everybody is claiming every year. So we need to know how much exactly is being claimed for these out of pocket. Second, the insurance industry might say, okay, if you want the premiums to be same, you need to have a co-payment of 10%, or let's say up to 5,000, maximum 5,000. If you can pay that co-payment, we can keep your premium down to 4,500 or whatever. So that is another thing. So this co-payment could also be paid by the tabung. Next, the insurance industry itself, the hospitals and the insurance industry needs to make sure that the hospitals have some sort of standardized premium so that we know. One of the problems today is some insurance companies are not covering the total amount of medical expenditure. So let's say the medical expenditure came up to 30,000, but they're saying we'll only pay 20,000. So how is that possible? Because in your policy, it's written as charged. If you read your policies, it will say surgery as charged and anesthesia as charged. But when it comes to the final bill, they are saying we are not paying the total amount. This needs to be looked at. How can they get away with that? So I think we should form this tabung, and I'm very happy to be part of this national board or whatever looking into this aspect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Yeah, for your insights and your suggestion. Silakan.
Yang berhormat, para hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera. Nama saya Panjamurti, asal dari Sentul Individu, Active Social Worker. Seperti yang disebut oleh Yang Berhormat sebentar tadi, private hospital healthcare is very important. On the other hand, private hospitals are fleecing the poor people, particularly the B40 group. I would like to suggest Kementerian Kesihatan dan juga lain-lain agensi yang terlibat harus memperkenalkan satu garis panduan kepada semua private care hospital untuk senaraikan kos-kos rawatan. Seperti like these coffee shops, they have the price list bagi mengelakkan daripada charge exorbitant daripada poor patient. Okay, I'm one of the victim. I went to the hospital a few years ago. After producing my medical card, they didn't reveal to me how much the cost was. They said, no, we will send it to the claim and all that. Since I'm not taking out from my own pocket, I don't feel the pinch. Same thing goes to the others. So we don't feel the pinch, but they are marking up and claiming this is very wrong. So you have to check that. Monitor the private hospitals and all that. The other very important thing is that, you see, when a patient dies due to surgery or whatever it is, the private hospitals they're very reluctant to release that body to the next of kin without paying the full amount. I think this one we have to look into very seriously. You see, after paying, and then they have lost the life of their next of kin, but in order to retrieve their body from the mortuary or what, the hospital, particularly the private hospitals, they say, no, we won't release the body until and unless you pay the full settlement, a big amount. How can the poor people, while they are grieving the loss of their next of kin? So this has to be taken into consideration. As I said just now, the private hospitals, they are fleecing like anything. You have to monitor, you have to produce a guideline to all the hospitals. This is what I've got to say. Thank you very much for giving the opportunity. I feel very proud to be in this Parliament building today. Though we are not MPs, but today we feel like MPs today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the environment.
Yang Berhormat Murti.
Thank you for the organizers.
Thank you very much, Yang Berhormat. Okay, I think everyone is Yang Berhormat today, okay? Silakan, Yang Berhormat.
Yes. My name is Ravinder. I'm an actuary. I worked 30 years in the reinsurance industry. I worked 20 years in London, Amsterdam, Zurich before I came back. What's happening in the industry worries me a lot. I think as leaders in the insurance industry, it's our obligation to find a solution because today, 60% of Malaysians don't have insurance. The industry is over 100 years old. 60% don't have insurance, and these are the people who need it. They don't even have 1,000 savings. So we have to do something. I have 4 points. I hope I can go through all 4 very quickly. The first one is I have my nephew's bill from November last year from a private hospital in PJ. He was in hospital for 2.5 days for appendicitis, and the cost, 37,000. This hospital in PJ has a self-playing piano in the lobby, and an aquarium takes 1/3 of the lobby area. We don't need that. What we want is 2-star luxury hotels with 3-star prices. No more 5-star, 6-star luxury. We don't need that. The problem is, then my next point, my son is 27. I have his medical insurance premium schedule. I added up the premiums from age 0 to age 80. So what he would need to pay. In reality, he will pay more because after every few years, he will go up. So this is the lowest he would ever pay. And the price from 0 to 80, I've never seen any record of this before, is 300,000. 300,000 premium you pay from 0 to age 80. Now what's scary is 70% of that is from age 60 to 80. So you pay 70% of your hospital charges in the last 20 years of your life. That is scary. What that means is, when we retire, we don't have the insurance policy from the company, so we are on our own. Most people after 60 can't afford insurance anymore. We will go to government hospital. So YB, the T20, even the T20, after they go past 60, they will be going to government hospital. Because they're not earning. They can't bear it. So that is a major problem. I've not seen this mentioned anywhere, and it's a significant part. Okay? The co-payment is worth it. My son's co-payment is 1,000. The discount of the premium is 30%. So co-payment makes sense. Okay? Okay, so my third point. In insurance industry, we talk about the profitability of insurance companies. 4 billion is the number I've seen. There is another element that we can change because we have moved on. We are not 50, 60 years ago where we don't have internet and we can't do things. Today we have internet and knowledgeable consumers who understand. I need to share here, the agents from the conventional insurance and takaful, I sum up and I checked, it's so hard to find this figure, but I believe their earnings per year is 6 to 8 billion. About close to 200,000 agents earn between 6 to 8 billion every year. We don't need that if we have simple products. On top of that, banks also get commission. It's probably 2 billion. So let's not just talk about the 4 billion savings, or the profitability. Let's talk about the 10 billion distribution costs. Today, Bank Negara has opened up for digital insurance license. And this will be for Malaysian organizations, not foreign companies. But the challenge is, there are not enough takers to come and back up our talented Malaysians. There are so many who want to find the solution, but they need a capital, and it's not big money. DeepSeek is a kind of a DeepSeek solution. We don't need the big things. We just need some people who can believe in a solution, and it can be a Malaysian solution. That's my third point. And the last point I want to say is, we have a major problem about only doing curative treatment, no preventive. To solve this problem, we need to move into the preventive area in a big way. Nobody is championing this. Hospitals are not championing this. So we need to find a solution that takes care of this. What can it be? You only get the lowest price of premium if you don't smoke, you don't drink, you exercise, and you watch your diet. Your BMI must be that. Otherwise, you have to pay higher. So when we put a cap of 10%, we should have just done for those who have BMI. We can do it to firemen and policemen. Why can't we do it also for this? And also, our GPs are not an example. Our GPs are overweight and obese more than the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ravinder. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I have to keep a tab on that because I know everyone wants to speak and it has to be fair. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Silakan.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Good morning. My name is Muhammad Del bin Mustafa Azlan. I'm from Prudential Life Insurance Agency Association. This is our suggestion to government, regulation and policy. Number one, price cap and fee schedule. Introduce price control or fee schedule for medical procedure, consultation and medication to prevent overcharging. Two, transparency in pricing. Mandate private hospital to disclose their pricing structures for common procedures and services to enable patients to make informed decision. Three, incentive for cost-effective care. Provide incentive for hospitals that adopt cost-effective practices and technologies. Number four, regulate drug price. Control the pricing of pharmaceutical and medical supplies to reduce overall treatment costs. Number five, personal income tax. Encourage individuals to save for healthcare expenses through tax advantage account. Increase tax relief for medical insurance. Number six, subsidies for low-income group. Provide government subsidies or financial assistance to low-income patients to access private healthcare. Seven, case monitoring and auditing, which is one, regular audits. Conduct regular audits of hospital finance and operations to identify areas of inefficiency or overcharging. Two, benchmarking. Compare cost and performance with other hospitals to identify best practices and areas of improvement. Number eight, increase primary facilities to cater for simple diagnosis and treatment. Like just now they mentioned, we don't need a 5-star hospital. Number nine, provide enough general hospital and resources like nurses. And number 10, improve public health awareness. Encourage regular health checkups and preventive measures to reduce the need of expensive treatments later. Okay, so that's to the government. So our suggestion for the private hospital is operational efficiency, which is streamline process, adopt technology, prevent over-servicing, energy and resource management, outsourcing non-care services. Encourage competition. Number three, public-private partnership, like the government hospital that has become semi-private, like Hospital UiTM Sungai Buloh. It's a very good hospital, and few others that government starting to do it for the past, I think, 1, 2 or 3 years. So that is good. Number four, encourage generic medication, promote generic drugs. Number five, leverage data and analytics. Number six, training and workshop management. So that's our suggestion from us. Thank you.
Terima kasih Encik Muhammad. Okay, daripada Prudential. Please.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jenny. I'm here as individual and also as policy holders. Yeah, I just want to raise up my concerns, and I find that there is unfair terms and policy. I hope the central banks and the ministry can look into it to help us as policyholder, as also Malaysians. So I want to just put up in summary in short forms. So unjustified application of the exclusion clauses. My condition is actually duplication seat, was only confirmed as a congenital disease post-operations via the histopathology medical reports. So neither I and also my doctor knew it was a congenital beforehand. And also inconsistent claim handling by insurance agency AIA. My procedure was under, if my procedure is under LA, letter of authorizations, and the AIA would not seek reimbursement. But somehow, since I pay upfront, my claim was actually denied. This is actually double standard and it's unfair. And because of this, I actually applied personal loan to settle my 22,000 bill for that. Similar to cover conditions, my condition is clinical similar to the appendix operations. If appendix is covered, why not my case? Fourth, misleading advice from the insurance agents. I consulted my agent pre-operations and it was assured that the procedure was claimable. I took a personal loans on this advice, only be denied later, leave me in financial hardships. And I want to call for a far policy terms. I really hope Ministry and Central Bank to review insurance policy to ensure fairness and clarity, especially when policyholder acts in good faith and rely on professional advice. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jenny. Okay, silakan, please.
Terima kasih YB. Saya Datuk Indra Dr. Syahri bin Adiman. Pengalaman 38 tahun dalam Perkhidmatan Awam. Sekarang saya Timbalan Pengurusi Harm Reduction Action Network Malaysia dan juga Presiden Epidemic Intelligence Program Malaysia. Pertamanya, saya ingin mengatakan tentang perlunya satu konsep pembaharuan fasiliti setiap satu masa tertentu, 10 tahun. Sebagai saya bagi begini kerana apa? Dalam pengalaman saya melihat banyak fasiliti-fasiliti kita yang mempunyai peralatan-peralatan usang yang beyond economic repair. Tetapi ia ditinggalkan dan ia mengakibatkan pesakit akan bertumpu makin ramai. Kenapa? Alat sokongan bagi membantu pesakit amat berkurangan ataupun tidak dibaik pulih. Oleh itu saya mengharap cadangkan supaya mungkin kerajaan perlu invest satu amount yang besar setiap 10 tahun. Perbaiki semua fasiliti dan sebagainya setahun. Kemudian kita rehatlah masa-masa yang lain untuk perkara lain. Kemudian setiap 10 tahun lagi semak fasiliti-fasiliti tersebut. Ada tak peralatan-peralatan lain yang perlu diperbaiki ataupun ditambah baik. Kenapa? Ada juga peralatan yang telah amat usang more than 20 years yang mungkin pada masa ini tidak ekonomi untuk digunakan ataupun tidak ekonomi untuk dibaiki. Perkara yang kedua adalah terdapat juga fasiliti kita di kerajaan, hospital-hospital di mana kita mempunyai bilangan Dewan Bedah yang cukup tetapi Dewan Bedah itu kosong, tidak mempunyai fasiliti yang cukup. Jadi kerana itu bilangan mereka yang harus untuk melakukan pembedahan terpaksa ditangguh. Jadi saya mencadangkan supaya Kementerian Kesihatan, Kementerian Kewangan lihat menyeluruh dewan-dewan bedah yang ada di seluruh hospital kerajaan agar dilihat adakah ianya dibangunkan untuk digunakan atau dibangunkan hanya untuk menjadi stor. Saya minta sangat. Perkara yang ketiga saya bagi adalah tentang pada tahun 2030 negara kita akan menjadi negara tua. Kita semuanya akan menuju kepada masa sedemikian. Apakah persiapan kita untuk kita menjelang tempoh tersebut? Tidak lama, hanya lebih kurang dalam 5 tahun akan datang. Dan oleh itu kita kena melatih pegawai-pegawai kita, sama ada pegawai perubatan ataupun para medik ke arah memberikan perkhidmatan warga tua berkenaan. Perkara yang keempat adalah kita ada 2 YB daripada negeri Selangor. Dan negeri Selangor adalah satu negeri yang padat. Dan kita lihat fasiliti kita ada lebih daripada 10 fasiliti di negeri Selangor, klinik kesihatan khususnya, setiap hari lebih daripada 2,500 pesakit yang terpaksa berantuk panjang dan sebagainya. Why? Kenapa? Kerana bilangan fasiliti kerajaan yang ada tidak mencukupi. Namun fasiliti swasta memang ramai. Banyak, lebih 1,500 fasiliti swasta yang ada di negeri Selangor, tetapi kemampuan pesakit adalah berkurangan. Itu saya minta kalau boleh lihat semula bagaimana kita ingin mengimbangkan bilangan fasiliti yang ada di Klang Valley ini compare dengan mungkin yang ada di Pantai Timur. Pantai Timur penduduk tak banyak tetapi fasiliti mereka cukup. Itu sebab kita tak dapat keluhan mereka di sana. Tetapi di Klang Valley terdapat keluhan kenapa? Bilangan fasiliti kita tidak mencukupi berbanding dengan bilangan penduduk yang ada. Perkara yang kelima adalah kerajaan telah menghabiskan banyak duit untuk merawatan penyakit-penyakit kronik seperti jantung, buah pinggang, diabetes dan sebagainya. Dan saya mencadangkan juga ada beberapa approach yang dapat mengurangkan kos berkenaan melalui pengaplian harm reduction approach seperti dalam penyakit diabetes, kanser berkaitan dengan tembakau dan sebagainya. Dan saya mencadangkan supaya kerajaan melihat perkara ini dengan baik. Kenapa? Ia juga akan mengakibatkan kos yang banyak sekiranya ianya tidak digunakan dengan baik oleh kerajaan. Sekian, terima kasih.
Terima kasih Datuk atas cadangan. Silakan.
Salam sejahtera. Selamat pagi YB dan para hadirin semua. Nama saya Wu Yuan Sing, seorang pesara dari Subang Jaya, Selangor. Saya bersuara dari sektor swasta tanpa punca pendapatan sejak 8 tahun lagi. Dan saya terkesan kerana kenaikan premium insurans yang tinggi semenjak 2022 oleh syarikat insurans saya. Bagaimana peningkatan kos sebanyak 5% daripada RM2,108 kepada RM3,163 mendapat kelulusan regulator adalah di luar imajinasi saya. Pada hari ini saya akan menyentuh pasal langkah interim Bank Negara Malaysia yang pada pendapat saya tiada membantu langsung mengurangkan beban kewangan orang ramai, terutama warga emas, berikutan kenaikan premium insurans perubatan. Di antara 4 langkah interim, hanya langkah interim kedua boleh dianggap ada kelebihan untuk kita. Walau bagaimanapun, penangguhan pelarasan premium 1 tahun hanya memanjangkan penderitaan beban warga emas. Dalam bahasa Inggeris, prolonging our agony. Untuk langkah interim ketiga, jika penggembalian semula ditawarkan, bagaimana pula dengan pelanggan yang dengan berat hati telah meneruskan polisi kita atas keperluan perlindungan insurans perubatan? Semasa saya tanya insurans saya, adakah refund untuk kita? Mereka kata tiada refund sebab di dalam langkah interim Bank Negara Malaysia tiada disebutkan refund. Pada pendapat saya, Bank Negara Malaysia tiada mengambil tindakan secukupnya sebagai regulator untuk melindungi pengguna-pengguna yang terjejas. Ia sepatutnya mengarahkan pihak hospital dan ITO untuk menangani caj perubatan yang tinggi antara mereka sendiri, bukan pass the buck to the public. Dan untuk jangka masa panjang, adakah BNM serta kementerian dan agensi lain mempertimbangkan perkara-perkara dan cadangan berikut yang boleh mengatasi masalah kos premium insurans kesihatan? Pertama, menawarkan pelepasan cukai untuk premium insurans perubatan yang tadi disebutkan awal tadi, memberikan diskaun tiada tuntutan iaitu seperti insurans NCD kerana tiada tuntutan kos perubatan kepada masa polisi yang lalu. Menyediakan pakej insurans yang disatukan dengan premium keseluruhan yang lebih rendah. Contohnya, saya ada insurans kebakaran rumah, ada insurans kereta, ada insurans kecurian. So, adakah pihak insurans mempertimbangkan pakej keseluruhan dengan menawarkan satu pakej di mana bayaran premium ada lebih rendah keseluruhannya. Memberikan inisiatif untuk meningkatkan ekonomi perak, meaning the silver economy, inisiatif untuk semua warga emas, dan melaksanakan sistem kesihatan kebangsaan NHS seperti yang telah disahkan dalam Kertas Putih Kesihatan 2023 dalam Parlimen. Untuk makluman saya telah menyelidiki topik mengenai premium insurans perubatan yang tinggi dalam tesis MBA saya pada tahun 2023. Jika sesi awam PAC hari ini tidak mencapai satu penyelesaian, warga-warga emas seperti saya akan menambahkan barisan menunggu panjang di hospital kerajaan tidak lami. Thank you.
Terima kasih Encik Wu memberikan pandangan. Okey, untuk maklumat tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian, dalam sesi ini apabila you cakap memang pegawai-pegawai kita akan catat, Hansard akan catat, tetapi tambahan di sini ada pegawai-pegawai daripada KKM dan juga Bank Negara Malaysia dan juga pelbagai jabatan kerajaan juga akan mendengar. Jadi apa yang dicadang yang dilontarkan di sini akan taken into consideration by the government. Okay, silakan.
My name is Châu Phúc Sinh. I'm a retired man. Today, I come here just to give some information and my idea to public. That now I work as a volunteer, committee member for we call it community or public hospital, or simple word is a charity hospital. That you don't mind, I just give a brief background of the hospital.
Yeah, within 5 minutes, everything.
Okay,
yeah.
very fast. Because this hospital, our yearly income is around 120 million. That we are the multi-races hospital. Consists of Chinese patient 50%, Malay patient 30%, Indian and others 20%. So then from there, we did a lot of charity work throughout Malaysia. We got 12 kidney diagnosis center. In KL alone also we got 3. One in Seri Kembangan, one in Seputeh, one in Sepang. So yearly, we contribute the 12 in whole Malaysia. We subsidize $3 million just to help up the patient. And come back, there is something today I want to highlight. That even we are the charity hospital also, you all come to know or not, until today, last year, we paid 5 to 10% of, we call it rebate lah, not commission lah, to insurance company. The sum of almost $6 million. And this year, they are going to send in their letter, request for 15 to 20%. This is ridiculous. We cannot accept.
What is the rebate? What do you mean by rebate?
The total medical claim for medical card holder. Because almost 50% of our income derived from medical card holder or policy holder. It's around 60 million. They request for 5 to 10%, but most of them also 10%. That is sum up to be 5 point something to 6 million. This year, beginning of the year, we received a letter from few giant insurance company that they request for 15% and some even 20%. That if we can fulfill or their request, then this year, easily we have to prepare 10 million for the rebate. But it's not rebate to patient, rebate to insurance companies. So here, we don't mind to accept 2 or 3% or 5%, but you know, I mean, sometimes patient also, they ask for, let's say, example, overstay in hospital, or maybe take more medicine. So we have to, not to say who pay lah. End of the day also, we don't mind to discount off some of these and bear it. Because end of the day also, all our money also donated out. Whether to hospital, to patient, or to insurance company. That, to me, and there is another article I read in the paper that if shortly, recently, government cannot find out a solution to agree on the inflation or agree on the price raising from hospital or insurance company, they will allow a 10%. But to me, I prefer that every hospital, private hospital or charity hospital, they will have their different rate of increment. Like us, just take for us. That, and also I forgot to mention, I'm the auditor for the hospital also. I know every single detail in the account book. And then for this, the 10%, to me, is very high for us. You see, every year we got 120 million of sales. Now, government allow us to increase 10%. This means that we can increase 12 million. But out of the 12 million, if deducted out, the inflation rate or the exchange rate or the import of import duty for medicine or medical equipment, we will easily make another 10 million. So if next year another 10 million top up, we got 20 million. So for third year, third increment 10, we got another 30 million. Total up, we got extra 60 million only for 3 years. But to us, because we don't keep the money, we are the non-profit organization. So I hope that Bank Negara can step in to look into the matter, or I don't mind. Even you all want to investigate or you want to know further information, we don't mind to supply also.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chu.
Another thing is that I hope that
Injury time 1 minute. Okay.
very fast. It's just some transaction only.
Thank you.
Some measure. I hope that now and then, you know, most of the medicine or medical equipment also imported from Western country. That now US also try to levy 25% here and there. So I hope that the consideration of purchasing medicine or equipment that go to the BRIC committee country like China and India. So another easy job for government to monitor the insurance company or our hospital, private hospital. The best is give more power to the ISO to go for regular inspection on the hospital. Because ISO every year or so they do once or twice audit, so can take advantage on or set up committee with them to just go on with the inspection or control. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chu, for your input. Yes, sir.
Berhormat pengerusi, yang berhormat Datuk tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, selamat pagi. Nama saya Raja Gopal dari Subang Jaya yang masih belum satu hospital. Pada pagi ini kita telah pun dengar beberapa suggestion atau proposal daripada beberapa ahli dalam persidangan ini, dan saya adalah seorang individu juga yang telah bersara dan sedang membayar iuran insurans. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that health, like education, human welfare, utilities and security are all basic needs of the people. Therefore, the government has got a very important role in this. Now, providing health services and healthcare, it should be one of the main important areas that we got to look at. Now, when the hospital healthcare is being privatized, we should ensure that whatever rates that are being charged should be commensurate with the efficiency and the effectiveness of the delivery system, but not at the cost of profiteering and maximizing profit. This should not be an area for private business. It should be an area where the private sector should also assist the government in looking at the basic need of the people. Now, in my case, I've taken an insurance policy through ING in the year 2012, and over the past 10 to 12 years, I've been paying my premiums. And I note that initially I paid about 3,000, and today I'm asked to pay 14,000 premium a year. Now, this has gone up by leaps and bounds every year, and the current increase from last year to this year is 23%. At the same time, my coverage has been reduced, and my rates and my claims to the hospital, the rates have also been reduced. Now, I think it's a serious matter, and I've appealed to the insurance company, and they have not looked at it, and they have said, now you could look at a new policy if you want to. Now, I've made a written application, which I will submit to the Jawatankuasa. Hope you can have a look at it. Now, what I'm talking at here is that because we are faced with this increasing cost, we find that the affordability to senior citizens becoming less and less, and in time to come, the insurance companies maybe are having a program to weed us out from the system. When we are young, we can pay the premiums and we don't make any claims. And when we grow older, we invariably have to have some health issues, and that is when we need some health care. They talk of all kinds of policies, all kinds of health care slogans, but at the end of the day, I note that as we grow older, the rates become higher and higher, and become unaffordable, and we are phased out. And that is when we suffer, and we go back to the public hospitals, which is already overcrowded. And I think the government has got a serious role to look at the participation of private sector in the health area, where it is a basic need for the citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ravi Gopal. Ya, silakan.
My name is Stephen. I will just cut off all the formalities. I'll go straight to the point. I think following from what he said just now, I think it's very true. By the time you are 60, you find that your insurance policy premiums have gone way high up, skyrocketed. And the other thing is about the lapses. You know, when you don't pay your insurance policy for just 1 or 2 times, you know, they will just consider it as a lapse. And when you ask them, they'll tell you, oh, sorry, it's a relapse. Okay? So what happens if somebody is overseas, come back and find that it's lapsed because he never received any letter has gone into somewhere? You know, these are the things that the government has to really look into. I'm glad, I have to say this, Bank Negara has been very supportive. But it's a matter of you finding the right person there. I just found 2 persons I had dinner with, and they invited me for dinner last Friday because I complain a lot and I always get things done, all right? Get things solved. You can read my articles in Malaysia Kini. Just Google for insurance policy. There's a few articles there. You know the trick. You know how to get the money back from the insurance policies. Now, the second point is, I think we have been talking about this for umpteen years. And YBC, I have actually sent you the copy of the article as well, which I wrote sometime in 2006. Hello, 2006, that's about 20 years ago. Medicine prices is one of the highest in the region. Okay, let me read you the article. The researcher in the university where I was working with said this, right? His team was surprised with his finding that the innovator brand Prosiding, used for curing depression, the highest median price ratio is 31.06, that of the IRP. While the antibiotic ciprofloxacin in the retail pharmacy has a median price of 113.63 times of the IRP. Does this shock you? 111 times higher than the IRP. Why was there no control over the last 20 years? When I brought this up, Dr. Chor Selik said, yeah, he will look into this, he will monitor the prices. But after that, I'm back here telling the same story. So I'm very glad that PMX has made an announcement recently. And Dr. Zul, I have actually communicated this article to them as well. And I'm glad that they are talking about dismantling the cartels. I hope this is something that we will do, you know, as a nation to support, you know, the efforts that the government is doing. Because without that, without dismantling the cartel, I'm sorry, all the pharmaceutical companies, without that, we are going to die without a single cent left. By the time you are reached, you know, Wagamas, that's it. You know, you have so high insurance premium to pay, and then you have very little savings. That's why I can't retire. Okay? And the other point is this, some of the hospitals, you know, they do extra tests for you. 4 years ago, I went to see a doctor. I had thyroidism, so-called thyroidism, right? And 4 years later, I was actually tested for thyroidism when I actually had no problem with thyroidism. Does that ring a, you know, is it funny, isn't it? I told the doctor specifically, I don't need the test before the blood was taken, okay? And yet the test was being done, right? And he asked me, are you covered by insurance? I didn't know about it, all right?
1 minute, Stephen.
Yeah, wait, just 1 minute. Okay, so I had to, what do you call that? I had to stand up, I had to email to the hospital for nearly 3 months. And the Ministry of Health was also involved. They didn't clamp down, okay? Until I brought it up to Dr. Zul, I think Dr. Zul must have have put the thing. And then finally, the doctor admitted, yes. Okay, settled. The money was paid back to the insurance company, not paid back to me. Yeah? And a quick one, the procedures that sometimes we need to go through because insurance policy have their own standard operating procedures is not really necessary. For example, when you go and see a hospital, when you see a specialist who happens to be a relative during Chinese New Year, and they check, they say, oh, you better go and do something. A specialist telling me that now I have to go to the GP just to get a referral letter.
Yes, Stephen,
Yeah?
I think the
Okay,
time.
so that's all I wanted to say. A lot of procedures need to be revised, yeah? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stephen. Before we continue, Ursatia managed to get the ring. Okay, okay. So what we do is like this, 4 minutes you speak, okay. Then the first ring will come in. Then 1 more minute, the two ring, and injury time 1 minute, okay? Boleh ya? That's it. Okay, injury time stop lah, tolong ya. Okay, because I think kita ada ramai dan saya sudah calculate, today we arrange 500 chairs. Okay, so it's almost filled up. I was told Ursatia bagi tahu 450 orang hadir pada pagi. Bagi satu tepukan. Dan kalau kita nak semua orang cakap 5 minit, kita perlu 37 jam. Okay? So that will be tomorrow. We still haven't finished. So kita hadkan secara 5 minit siapa-siapa yang cakap. Okay? Kita bagi adil ya kepada semua. Alright, silakan.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning. I think first of all, my name is Amrahi bin Wang. I'm the current president of the Malaysian Pharmacy Society. I think the issue that we are discussing is of a critical national importance as it affects affordability, accessibility, and sustainability of the Malaysian healthcare system. The main problem with us is actually the current healthcare system, which is very, very, very silo. Everybody is doing their own way, and it's not connected. The rising costs of private healthcare have placed a significant burden on the rakyat, with reports of sharp increase in insurance premiums and private hospital charges. This is further compounded by the spillover effect on public healthcare facilities, leading to congestion and longer waiting times in government hospitals. As key healthcare providers, pharmacists are deeply concerned about the financial strain placed on Malaysians and the long-term viability of our healthcare system. Let's talk about transparency and fairness in healthcare pricing. MPS acknowledges that healthcare costs are rising, but any unilateral increase in insurance premiums or hospital charges must be justified and transparent. The exponential rise in healthcare costs should not disproportionately burden the rakyat while private healthcare players continue to report strong profit margins. We urge the government to implement a transparent pricing framework that ensures accountability from all stakeholders. The recent initiative by the government for the display of the price of medicine is a good start to this effect. For healthcare providers to deliver high quality, cost-efficient care, they require clear and structured financing model. MPS urges the creation of a value-based healthcare financing system that ensures spending is tied to measurable patient outcome rather than service volume. Second point, strengthening the public-private healthcare synergy. The increasing costs of private healthcare have resulted in higher dependency on public hospitals, stretching government resources thin. To alleviate this pressure, MPS strongly support the implementation of a national health insurance that integrates public and private healthcare services. A well-structured NHI will ensure financial protection for Malaysians by promoting affordable access to healthcare by creating a sustainable cost-sharing mechanism between both public and private sectors. Expand the role of community pharmacists and general practitioner clinics to reduce congestion by improving interoperability and resource efficiency between the public and private healthcare sectors. Improve collaboration between public hospital, private hospital, GPs, and community pharmacies for better patient outcome and integrating them into one single patient-centered ecosystem. Reduce out-of-pocket expenses, preventing financial hardship due to unexpected medical costs. A structured co-payment system can balance patient affordability and sustainable financing. Third point, strengthening the role of pharmacists in disease prevention, rational medicine use, and cost reduction. Pharmacists are central to medication affordability and patient safety. MPS advocates for, number one, strengthening the rational use of medicine to reduce unnecessary prescription and overuse of expensive medication. Increase utilization of generic medicine, which can significantly reduce healthcare costs for both insurance and patient and medication. Increase utilization of generic medicine, yeah? And then pharmacy-led intervention such as chronic disease management, medication therapy management to optimize treatment for effectiveness and prevention medication waste, and preventive care initiative that can significantly reduce hospital visit. Expanding insurance coverage for pharmacies provided services, ensuring better adherence and health outcome. The government must act decisively to address systemic inefficiency and prevent further financial strain on the rakyat. MPS firmly believe that pharmacists, alongside other healthcare providers, must be actively involved in shaping national health financing reform to ensure a cost-effective and patient-centered healthcare system. Lastly, pharmacists remain committed to working with policymakers, insurance, healthcare providers, and patient groups to establish a transparent, sustainable, and equitable healthcare ecosystem, the one that ensures all Malaysians have access to high-quality, affordable healthcare without financial hardship. Last point, think health, think pharmacies. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Terima kasih Profesor Amrahi from Pharmacy Society. Ya, silakan.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera. Terima kasih kerana mengadakan sesi pendengaran hari ini. Nama saya Nabil Husni, saya data saintis Kesihatan Awam daripada Amerika Syarikat. Okey, saya seorang data saintis Kesihatan Awam dari
Nama.
Okay, nama saya Nabil Husni. Saya seorang data saintis Kesihatan Awam dan saya membuat kajian kebanyakan perkara tentang healthcare informasi, dan satu isu yang saya ingin bangkitkan hari ini ialah penentu sosial kesihatan ataupun social determinants of health. Itu adalah salah satu cara untuk mengurangkan kos kesihatan. Kebanyakan tinjauan sistematik dan kajian dilakukan di kebanyakan negara jika kebanyakan investment dijadikan kepada social determinant of health, dia mampu mengurangkan kesihatan. Social determinant of health termasuk perumahan, kesihatan awam, pembangunan dan isu-isu di luar daripada sistem kesihatan, kerana Malaysia merupakan negara yang mempunyai kebanyakan pesakit kronik dan sepatutnya social determinant of health diutamakan dahulu supaya kita mengurangkan bebanan kepada kesihatan awam dan eventually can reduce the cost of health. So itu saja pada.
Terima kasih Encik Nabil, very good. This is something extra, ya. Ya, silakan.
Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. I'm Sean Sharif. I'm from Boleh Space and OKU Advocacy Group. So we've actually presented to the previous health minister on our recommendations to the health white paper. So I'm going to read out what we suggested under Pillar 3, which is ensuring sustainable and equitable health financing. So the first one is to ensure that instead of the government investing in the private sector, why not channel those investment to public healthcare, make it stronger, and so that you don't need to have this conversation with the private sector anymore. And then next is essentially legislating a ring-fence element for any and all pro-health taxes, which include summonses that are identified as behavioral change agents for the utilization of MOH in future government budgets. The second one is to improve healthcare budgeting by increasing the tax base, especially from the hyper-rich, through tax such as property tax, sales revenue, inheritance tax, capital gains, etc. This is very important because essentially all of us who are patients, especially chronic illness patients, we don't want to be in this situation, but as luck has it, we are stuck with our conditions that need to be addressed. And it's best if it's taken care of by the government, since the government have the biggest budget and power essentially to help our group of people. So another one is to ensure that we include persons with disability in any and all health financing committees, so that the needs of persons with disabilities are always guaranteed. And I would like to also focus our attention to the people who need coverage, essentially the people with disability, pre-existing conditions, mental health issues, people with rare diseases and undiagnosed conditions, and people with ongoing non-communicable diseases, those who need habilitation and rehabilitation, the elderly and also palliative care are not excluded from accessing healthcare by any and all parties that are tasked to handle the healthcare financing. So there needs to be a guarantee, especially from the government, that all these different groups that usually won't get access to any insurance coverage are taken care of, whatever health financing that we eventually go for. So it's quite important to make sure that nobody is left behind. And then another thing that we need to take into account, we need to diversify the universal coverage of health protection and support to all in Malaysia. So this should include sexual and reproductive health also, mobility, sight and hearing aids, payment for sign language interpreters, rare disease treatments and medication, medical implants, as well as dental-related care, palliative care, habilitation and rehabilitation services. This is very important because if we focus on, if we put a barrier to this kind of health needs, it's going to reduce our quality of life. So that needs to be taken into account. So last and the last thing is to ensure that all of MOH facilities are accessible to all by implementing universal design and ensuring that KKM facilities have the information sharing with relevant accessibility features. So that's why we want more participation from the OKU groups to be at the same table, talk about all of these health policies that are being formulated and taking place. So I hope YB you can bring the our request to the relevant parties. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you Puan Sharif daripada OKU Group. It's very good perspective sebab kita pun kurang tahu tentang bebanan dan juga kesusahan daripada golongan OKU. That's very good perspective. Terima kasih. Silakan.
Yeah, good morning everybody. So my name is Gam. I have been in the insurance industry for 30 years. Medical repricing for me is not a new issue because for the past 30 years, I come across many times of the medical repricing. But recently, because it's a big issue, so everybody they make noise. Okay, what I want to say is, most of the time, not most of the time, is every time when the medical repricing, the insurance company they will inform us because of the medical pool fund is burst already due to the claim high ratio. Okay, so because of that, they are increased. But but what I can see is this medical pool fund, they have the problem because it's not the insurance company fault, it's the system problem because the system is saying that they are allowed to issue the new rider without a control for the certain period of time. When a medical pool rider, when you just run for 5 years, then you launch another new rider, definitely your pool fund will be lower and lower because people will jump to another new fund because you are giving more benefit to the new rider. Okay, for example, I have a statistic here from my company. So the rider A launched in 2009, okay, with the annual limit of 90,000, lifetime limit of 900,000. So this rider discontinued when during I think 2018. So the premium as today for 41 years old, man, non-smoker, the insurance charges is 1346. But the rider B, they are launched in 2020, okay, 1 million annual limit, so unlimited lifetime, which is, so they are repricing already, so today is 978, okay, which is cheaper. Why? Okay, and the latest one to this year, annual limit is 5 million, lifetime limit is no limit, but the premium 979. If you are the customer, which rider you will choose? I definitely will choose the latest rider because you give me more benefit and lower insurance charges. That's why the system got the mistake already. When you are allowed the rider to issue without a certain time to maintain, the pool fund will get lower and lower. Okay, my suggestion is, okay, today is, so either insurance company, they have a basic center pool fund, which is called a main pool fund. And this main pool fund, you don't need a high limit of cover. It may be 100,000 cover. Because based on all the statistics, every claim, okay, the claim, a single claim is lower than 100,000. All the claims is lower than 100,000. So yes, we have some claim is more than 100,000, but not all. When those people they need more higher cover, you can issue the additional rider, which is additional rider like you exceed 1 million, how much I need to charge you? That is called the additional rider. So the basic you need to have a lower pool fund will be enough already. Because your basic rider, when you control for the 15 years to 20 years, it may help you to maintain the pool fund, okay? So it would be dropped, okay? Or the other way, if the insurance company don't do that, the government can do a national center pool fund. It's something like the Swasta, okay? All the insurance company, your customer, the first 100,000 insurance charges put into the pool fund. Let the government to control, okay? So then you will get more better, okay? This is the pool fund I would like to say. So that's why the claim can be prevented, okay? So I got all the statistics here, okay? But never mind, we can talk later. But the other thing, I would like to say that take over clauses for the policyholder, which is, I still remember 25 years ago when a policyholder, they want to change the medical card, there is a takeover clauses. But nowadays, it's no more. All the public, you must understand that today you say you are upgrade the medical rider, but actually you are not. You are purchase a new medical plan, even in the same insurance company. That's why you have the waiting period. That's why you have a lot of non-disclosure case in the market because they don't know. They thought I bought from your company 10 years ago, today I upgrade. Why? Why I consider as a new customer? So takeover clauses is actually fair to the customer. So we say that is treat customer fairly. That is very important. They should implement back the takeover clauses. And the third, policy holder, just now a lot of people mentioned they're 60 already. Okay, yes. So your insurance charges will be increased because we get old already. You get very high chances. So when this I can say the senior citizen, we can implement another policy for them is they can opt to reduce, they have the core payment, which is the core payment. So like 5,000 or 10,000. If you offer this, the premium will be lower immediately a lot. And they still have the medical cover. If today the government are able to solve the issue, then the government will get the burden. Why? Because everybody will go to the government hospital. That is my point. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kam. Okay, seterusnya kita silakan. Ya.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Sodhi Rachagan. I used to be very involved in the insurance industry, but I'm actually an academic, retired Vice Chancellor of Perdana University and then Nilai. Very simply put, we are faced with a situation where the insurers claim that the medical costs have gone up, and therefore they have to raise their premium. There is a standard way in which the insurance industry, which has actuaries to do the job, measures its profit and its loss. If we pay $100 million in premium, what percentage of this premium is returned as claims to consumers, to the policyholders? That is referred to in the industry as the claims ratio. Number two, we also want to find out how many claims are declined, or how, in terms of numbers and in terms of the quantum paid out, how many are declined. That is referred to in the industry as claims settlement ratio. Now, if the claims ratio is high, very high, then of course the industry cannot pay out. Let's see what the data is. We cannot get this data from the industry. We are told it's being compiled, it's difficult to compile, etc. That is a whole lot of bullcrap. The fact is, the insurance industry operates on basic data of this kind. Now, I would invite everybody here to take their handphone, to punch in Google, Malaysia, medical and health insurance claims ratio, data by Statista. Statista is a reliable statistics provider. And I have checked with them whether their data has been challenged, and it has not. Statista shows that the claims ratio in the medical and health insurance in Malaysia in 2023, that's when they had the latest data, was 65%. That means for every 100 ringgit that is paid as premium, only 65 ringgit is returned to consumers in terms of claims. If you compare with the data in other countries, let's take Obamacare. Okay, that is a collective effort. In Obamacare, you have to return 80%. If you do not, the following year, you have to give a rebate to the insurer. So all I'm saying is, we need this kind of data. Data for claims ratio and data for claims settlement ratio for each company that is offering health insurance. And if we get that, I assure you, you will not be able to have or need to have such a session for the next 10 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Soti, for your insightful comment. Yeah, silakan.
Hi, my name is Datuk Dr. Ibrahim. I'm a clinical oncologist, the former president of the Malaysian Oncology Society, the Asia Pacific Cancer Society, as well as the Southeast Asia Regional Oncology Society. I'm here to talk about exactly what was printed out there, Peningkatan Bayaran Premium Insurance and Charge Hospital Swasta. Can I first talk about the Charge Hospital Swasta? People are blaming private hospital for high charges, and everybody is pointing out to the private hospital. Yes, I work in a private hospital, but can I just say something? In 1995, when I first came back to Malaysia to start the cancer center, I was given a budget of 17.3 million to buy equipment. For 17.3 million in 1995, I managed to buy 6 to 7 machines for treatment of cancer. In 2019, when I wanted to upgrade the machine in my hospital, the cost of upgrading just one machine was almost 20 million. So you look at the cost of treatment and the cost of buying of equipment, the last 20 to 30 years have increased substantially. You know, so the cost of cancer treatment in the 1990s, 6,000 ringgit for buying chemotherapy was considered very, very expensive. Today, the cost easily can be 30, 40, 50,000, even 100,000 ringgit per month. And that is sometimes not considered, you know, as considered the standard treatment. Can you blame the private hospitals for charging that? You know, it is, we pay for the drugs. You know, we pay a lot more for equipment. So how are we going to control the cost? You know, I mean, if you want to cut down the cost, yes, one of course, generics, you know, you can fast track generic treatment, that would help to certainly, but not all new innovative treatment have got generics. Yeah? And it takes a long time also to register generics. So I think generics is important, but you know, like I say, you know, it's not the cost of private hospitals overcharging. The doctors' charges are being regulated. For the last 10 to 15 years, our charges have not increased. My consultation fee for patients have not increased. It costs a lot more to pay for a plumber to come to your house to repair your bill than to pay me for my consultation fee. Yeah? So, I mean, you know, these are, you know, facts. Yeah? So they are regulated. It's not that healthcare is not unregulated. But, you know, they have modest percentage. So some of the insurance companies are unrealistically asking 20-30% discount from private hospitals. We don't make that much profit. You know, and a lot of the profits that we make are plowed back into development of more hospitals, building more facilities, buying more and new equipment. And these are very high expenses. That's number one. Okay, so, you know, please don't blame private hospitals' charges. It's the cost of overall. Today you buy nasi lemak, 20, you know, 2, 3 ringgit or 5 ringgit or whatever. Last time you only buy it for 20 cents. Overall things have increased. What I'm worried, concerned here is, okay, not only, okay, they're addressing about the bayaran of premium, that's important, you know, but also what's important, like Professor Soti just now mentioned, the rejection, the decline rate. My concern here is here, I have to fill up insurance form every time. And my worry is the increasing number of rejection cases now. I'm seeing so many patients, a lot, they still got a lot of, you know, they are promising 10 million in insurance coverage, 1 million coverage. And then to pay for, you know, a drug that costs 100 ringgit per month, decline. Because, it doesn't suit their, you know, they have their own definition, what they want to pay, what they don't want to pay. Like, some of them, so they decide what they want to pay. So the main issue here now is the decline rate that is going up and up and up. So you're going to pay a lot for your insurance premium, but what is going to happen when you want to claim? You look at the decline rate. So I think the government has to address the decline rate. In Singapore, some of our neighboring countries, the decline rate is very low. Why? Because in Singapore, they insist you have to pay standard of care medical treatment. As long as the medical treatment is following the guidelines, standard of care, insurance have to reimburse. Here, no, they define their own reimbursement. Yeah, they define what they want to pay. So I think you need to look at the decline rate, and all I'm asking for is, please, pay of care medical treatment. That's all we are asking for. And you know, our private hospital charges, the last thing is that, you know, compared to neighboring countries, we're not that high. Why do Indonesians come to Malaysia? Because our cost is cheaper and we have better quality healthcare. They pay 7,000 ringgit for a PET scan in ringgit. So compared to our neighboring countries, our healthcare is not that expensive. Yeah? Compared to Singapore, of course, it's non-comparable. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ibrahim, for your input. Yeah, please.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you. I think it's the first time the public is allowed to speak, and from what I understand, I hope this is not the last time a voice is given to the Rakyat, and not just on the insurance matter, but on other matters that is of prime importance to seniors, to the people in general. Okay, I'm Chia Tak Wing from the Malaysian Coalition on Aging. We represent, we have 9 founding members who are the most active civil societies involved in aging. I'm very thankful that there are quite a number of seniors here speaking about their grievances affecting them. You don't mind if I take out this mic? It's easier for me to speak. Yeah, it's easier for me to speak this way. Okay, so I think all the suggestion given here today is well and good. And but the only thing that I felt that we missed the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room, it is that there's a failure in the regulatory bodies. I think everybody agreed to this. Okay. Now, this is not just Bank Negara, not just PM, not just Ministry of Finance, if it's a regulatory body you can consider, but Parliament itself. No, I think as what YB Sim has said just now, the YBs here represent the people, but yet the voice of the people are not heard. Sessions like this should be organized earlier, not when there's a backlash from the public. It's always the case, it's always the case. When there is something wrong, after they implement something, then the public make a lot of complaints, then only something is taken action about. And this should not be the way. No, we should not be reactive. There should be a PAC, for example. I'm just throwing an idea. A PAC maybe to look at problems, major issues that may affect Rakyat. And then organize sessions like this to engage the Rakyat. And not only when the problem comes. Be more proactive, not reactive. I'm trying to say this. And I think only then, with real and sincere engagement, and not just to say that, hey, we have already engaged the public, and we have already done our job. No, that should not be the case. Seriously engage the public, get their feedback, and then you find that policies will be more easier to implement, and people are more happy. Now, in the case of medical insurance, today I'm not speaking on behalf of the Malaysian Coalition on Aging. Actually, I'm speaking on my personal behalf as a consumer, as an insurance member, right? So I think I speak on behalf of many that the interim measures mentioned, provided by Bank Negara, is just not good enough, I would say, because it's only prolonging the thing only. I just want to point out I think just now the gentleman pointed out 4 interim measures, but I just want to highlight 2 interim measures mentioned by Bank Negara. All right, one is that they say that those above 60 years old, their repricing will be suspended for 1 year, correct? That's right. But my insurance company telling me, right, I don't want to name it, but it's one of the biggest on medical insurance in Malaysia. My insurance company telling me, it's only apply for those with the lowest plan. Meaning to say, lowest lodging and lowest, So it's only for lowest plan. Is this what Bank Negara is interim measure is all about? I do not know the details, but this is not right, If it's suspended for those above 60, then it should be suspended irrespective of low plan or high plan. That's number one. Okay, the second one is regarding the so-called repricing over 3 years. Now, it's not going to solve the problem. After 3 years, you still have got to pay a very high insurance premium. Simple as that. So are you solving the problem? No, these interim measures to me is like what the professor say, crap. You know, sad to say, I don't want to use this sort of language. But seriously, we have to sit down. If this has been brought up earlier, if this town hall session has been brought up earlier, then this problem would have been anticipated and then resolved. Rather than, now, we don't need to have this session now. Right? So another thing I can foresee, another major problem is vaping. I don't know why this country does not want to ban vaping. When Singapore, Thailand has already banned it. And if you are coming up with a reason that, we need the money from tax and all at the expense of the health of the rakyat, I think it's very bad. It's very bad. I think it should be banned, things like this. And cost of living is very, very high now, So more problems will crop up. So please have a PAC to identify major issues affecting the rakyat.
Thank you
and
so
have
much.
more of such sessions. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih, Encik Chia. Thank you very much for pointing our failure as Member of Parliament. Actually, we have been, this is actually one of the most, this is what you call, I would say we are very proactive. This is the first time we engage the public in this massive way. Yeah, almost 400 to 500 people turn up. So we will continue to work harder. Point taken, we admit some of our shortcomings, but we will continue to work harder. Okay, just to respond a little bit on this interim measure. Interim measures is only for 3 years. But after 3 years, we have a cliff effect. We might have a cliff effect if we don't do something. That's the reason why we have this public engagement. We listen to every one of you. After this, we will go for 10 closed sessions. Very, very long sessions, many, many hours. We'll deep dive and drill into all the problems, and we'll come out with suggestions to the government. And we have already got the undertakings and from the government to reform. Yeah, the Prime Minister is committed to reform. He has announced it in Parliament. The Health Minister is very committed to reform. The Bank Negara also very committed to reform. I can assure you. So these are very positive things happening now. Yeah, because of your outroar, because of your complaint, things are rolling. This is good for the country because democracy is at work. Okay. All right, I don't want to take too long time. Please, sir.
Salam sejahtera, nama saya Saravanan, mewakili Federation of Malaysian Consumer Association, FOMCA. Now, I would like to highlight certain point. Of course, we need to acknowledge self-regulation by private healthcare or even insurance is failed. We need to understand that. Now, why I'm saying that is, under FOMCA, we have National Consumer Complaint Center, which we handle a lot of complaints in a year. And basically, we receive complaints on insurance hike or even private hospital charges and so on. Now, when we brought up this issue to, I don't want to name the enforcement agency, any agency we are pushing the complaint to, they said, oh, we don't have any jurisdiction. Oh, there's no regulation on this. There's no enough policy on this. There's no regulation. No, we are not covering this sector. You need to go to that agency, that enforcement unit. So here we need to understand that regulation has failed. Now, another thing is lately we've been reading in newspaper, a lot of healthcare industries are coming saying, please don't regulate the private healthcare. Why? All right, we need to ask that question. Are they exclusive? Why they should be exclusive? All right. So here, government must play their role in providing the fundamental in basic human rights, which is healthcare, must be provided by the government. Make sure to regulate private healthcare, even insurance industry. Now, what is saranan FOMCA? Please allow me to speak in Bahasa. Gabungan Persatuan Pengguna Malaysia FOMCA menyatakan kebimbangan serius terhadap peningkatan kos premium insurans dan perkhidmatan insurans kesihatan swasta. Untuk menangani isu ini, FOMCA mengesa kerajaan mengambil langkah-langkah berikut. Number one, very important, we need to have oversight body di bawah Prime Minister's Office, which to oversight private medical healthcare and also the insurance industry. Why? Number one, they can monitor and mengawal inflasi kos perubatan bagi memastikan kenaikan rawatan, ubat-ubatan dan perkhidmatan kesihatan adalah munasabah dan wajar. Second, mengawal premium insurans perubatan dan memastikan syarikat insurans perlu membuktikan kewajaran kenaikan serta mendapatkan kelulusan sebelum menaikkan harga. Seterusnya, mengawal caj perkhidmatan kesihatan swasta dengan menetapkan harga siling untuk mengelakkan caj berlebihan. Seterusnya, memastikan ketelusan dengan mewajibkan hospital dan syarikat insurans memberikan butiran penuh kos rawatan serta anggaran awal, harga awal sebelum rawatan dilakukan. Seterusnya, kawalan lebih ketat terhadap kenaikan premium insurans perubatan. Di sini FOMCA ingin menggesa Bank Negara Malaysia untuk melaksanakan pemantauan ketat terhadap kenaikan premium insurans bagi memastikan ia berasas dan telus. Seterusnya, memastikan syarikat insurans mendedahkan asas penetapan harga. This we need to highlight. There is no benchmark, there is no data justifying medical inflation currently. Seterusnya, mengelakkan keuntungan berlebihan dengan memastikan insurans perubatan berfungsi sebagai perlindungan pengguna dan bukan sekadar produk komersial untuk keuntungan syarikat. Seterusnya, meningkatkan ketelusan kos insurans dan penjaga kesihatan. Di sini, FOMCA menuntut penjelasan yang jelas mengenai kenaikan premium di mana syarikat insurans perlu menerangkan secara terbuka sebab-sebab kenaikan kos. Memang there is some justification but there is no data to support that. Seterusnya, penghapusan caj tersembunyi bagi mengelakkan pengguna dikenakan bayaran tambahan yang tidak dijangka. Dan yang terakhir, nombor keempat, kawal selia lebih ketat terhadap perkhidmatan kesihatan swasta. Di sini kami ingin menggesa Kementerian Kesihatan, please come out. We don't see you anywhere. Alright. Kementerian Kesihatan perlu memperkenalkan mekanisme kawalan harga bagi perkhidmatan kesihatan swasta untuk mencegah peningkatan kos yang tidak munasabah dalam konsultasi, ujian diagnostis dan prosedur rawatan. Seterusnya, menetapkan struktur harga standard bagi caj hospital dan pakar perubatan swasta untuk mengelakkan ketidakseimbangan harga. Dan last but not least, here as MPs, we like to request meningkatkan perbelanjaan kesihatan awam kepada 5% daripada KDNK. Itu saja. Thank you.
Terima kasih wakil daripada FOMCA. Okey, sekarang dah 10:30. I saw 25 people standing waiting to speak. So kita akan reduce sedikit the time. So now we give 3 minutes, 1 ring, and then for the 4th minute, 1 ring, and then we only give 30-second injury time. Okay? So you have 4.5 minutes. By 11 o'clock, we will reduce lagi ya. Okay? Silakan. Yes, sir.
Ladies.
Okay. Point taken. Boleh. Ini suara rakyat, demokrasi. Boleh. So 4.5 minutes, okay? Kita continue until cows come home. Is it? Alright. Silakan.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ini bukan senang nak jadi speaker, bukan senang nak jadi speaker. Speaker means the Tan Sri speaker, you know, the one.
May I request a big clap to our YB SIM and also the team, because this is the first time ever, you know, let the public to speak about this insurance raise, about the premium raise. This is the first time, not easy. I think YB has made a lot of effort, you know. We should congratulate him for the courage and also the effort. Not easy to organize this. First in Penang, second in the parliament here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Your name, please?
Chin, I'm speaking on my behalf, on myself. So I think for from my point of view, I think we should look at this issue from the root problem. Root problem is actually behavior. Actually, I would like to know, can you see your neighbor, anyone wearing sandals? Anyone? Or put out your hand, sandals? No, right? Pakai slipper, ada tak? Tak ada, Why? Because we know that when we come to parliament, we should wear, correctly, right? So you cannot wear sandals. So same thing go to this issue, you see, because behavior, human behavior, nature, human nature. I was working in Singapore for a few months when I was younger. I across the border to Malaysia. In Singapore, we cannot throw rubbish, We must queue up, Go to bus also queue up. But after Johor Bahru, the brow, everybody throw rubbish and also squeeze into the bus, you see. What happened? What's the problem? Behavior. Because in Singapore, the rules and regulation are very... Rules means rules. So here also the same. I'm not blaming anyone, just like YB Sim said just now. We need to have a R&R, rules and regulation, and also law. And the law must be executed. It's not only law. In Malaysia, sorry, a lot of things we say law, but sometimes we got U-turn, Always U-turn. So I don't think this is good for our future, our next generation. You see, just now our gentlemen talking about the enforcement about this PM, Bank Negara Malaysia, Yes, I truly agree. We have to gather all of them, Bank Negara, PM, or hospital, insurance companies, together, sit down together and come up with a solution. So far, very good, already started, but very serious, or else we won't be here, very serious already. 40 to 70% of increment of the insurance premium. Okay, my suggestion is, solution is, one word only, courageous. Just our problem is human nature, human nature. So we need to have a courageous to collective solution from all parties, and transparent. The bill charges must list down the bill before doctor charge. We need to write down. We don't have to listen to everybody. We need to enforce this and also the looks out policy. Last time Dr. Mahathir dasar pandang ke mana? Timur east. Now I think we should dasar pandang ke selatan. If they are doing well, their economy is good. Why not? We just learn from them. I think recently our YB, another YB, what's the name? Went to Singapore, right? What's the name? Housing and I think it's good to learn something good from them. You see. So the last thing is execution. Execution. No point we talking so much here, but yet education none. So Parliament, MP is very important. We need to come up with a law. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chin, for your input. Yes, silakan. Yes, sir.
Assalamualaikum and good morning, Yang Berhormat and esteemed guest. I'm Dr. Rashidi Muhammad Pakri Muhammad. I'm a consultant family medicine and also a senior lecturer from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Yang Berhormat, insurance premium rates paid by Malaysians who have disposable income. The hike in the premium will increase the possibility of common Malaysians unable to afford to pay and will utilize the public healthcare services with an influx of patients. So it does affect both healthcare systems, both public and private. We certainly do not want the underserved population such as elderly, persons with disability, unemployed, and poor to be neglected, as there must be a mechanism to overcome the possible influx in the public healthcare system. Yang Berhormat, more emphasis should be given on disease prevention of NCDs, which is the main cause of morbidity and mortality in the country. How much emphasis is given is very important, as we have the National Strategic Plan for non-communicable diseases, and the government has already allocated 32.4 billion from the Ministry of Health. While this budget covers all aspects of healthcare system, some of this funding is earmarked for chronic disease prevention and related initiatives. I would like to suggest to further expand the primary healthcare services and increase in the allocation to primary care, as it will cut the cost of treatment and procedure due to emergency conditions and complications related to chronic diseases. And research and data collection funding may also be directed toward research into the prevention and treatment of chronic disease, as well as the collection of data to monitor trends in NCD prevalence, looking at the ever-evolving lifestyle trends and the risk of disease. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rashidi. Very short and sweet and straight to the point. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Good morning. My name is Manvir Victor. I am a WHO patient advocate from Malaysia. I am also a media practitioner with Vital Signs Asia. We serve 9 countries around Asia. So we talk about public, private health systems, best practices, innovations and ideas. And as a transplant recipient right here in Malaysia, in a public system that goes to both public and private hospitals, we want to talk about something that's very important. Malaysia is at its crossroads. Whether we agree with it today or 10 years from now, we will still be at that same space of being at a crossroads. First of all, we have a great public system in Malaysia. We have to applaud them, KKM, for doing a great job, because it has been underfunded over the past 20, 30 years. And we have very, very, very good doctors. And I'm saying this because I work with several different countries. So we have quality in this country. But we have a system that is quite archaic and old and needs some help. Part of that system is, if you look at our neighbors on either side of Malaysia and across the world as well, you see that there is a political hot potato right now that is our funding. And we need a national health and social insurance policy. We absolutely need that, because every country that does that ensures that people like Professor Amrahi was talking about, like Dato Sodi was talking about, and Sean here who was talking about, we cannot afford to leave people behind. That is an absolute fact. If the chain is strong, the weakest link of that chain are the aged and the sick people in this country. So we're not only talking about being very siloed in talking about insurance, but we have to look at health and its entire sphere of that ecosystem. And one of the things that is absolutely necessary, if we just look to the south, like Chin was saying, you just look to the south and you see that we have a neighbor who has a fantastic system. They try to make sure that everyone is covered. We need to look at a public, national health and social insurance to move this country forward, so that we don't have this same conversation that we are doing today, 3 years from now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nambia. Yep.
Good morning, YB and everyone. My name is Satya. I'm from IMAS. We are a TPA in KL. We administer employee health benefits. We facilitate cashless treatments at hospitals. So we sit right in between the hospitals and the insurance payers. So we have full transparency and we see everything that's happening with the bills. I think, firstly, I agree, our healthcare in Malaysia is very affordable, and that's why we're able to attract a lot of people to come into Malaysia. But at the same time, so I think it's just maybe 5-10 years down the road where we're going to be equal with our neighbors. Bank Negara has been talking about medical inflation since 2016. They published articles in the Star, in the Sun, talking about the reasons for medical inflation. Now, only in 2024, we're talking about it. So I think one of the first things that we need to look into is the regulation of the hospital services and supplies. So I just pulled up a few bills on my phone just now to take a look at it. Medicine cup, right? Some big hospitals or just large chain hospitals, they're charging RM1.50 for a plastic medicine cup that they put 2 or 3 tablets inside. The cost price is hardly 2 or 3 cents. Why do they have to charge RM1 for it? Sure, in the grand scheme of things in a bill, it only costs 6-7 ringgit out of 10,000, but the small things add up. The vital signs monitoring, the machine that goes beep, 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 they charge 50 ringgit per day. Why do they need to charge that much? They probably recover the cost of the device in 2 or 3 patients, right? So that's why there needs to be regulations applied to all these things, and also regulations on what can and cannot be charged. It doesn't make sense to me for them to charge bedsheet, to charge underpad, to charge medicine cup, when these things are all, the cost is negligible to the hospitals. They should be able to absorb it. Secondly, every item that's used in the hospital is regulated, is controlled. It has to be registered either with MDA or NPRA. So the cost of these items should be made visible to KKM as well. And KKM should then use that to regulate the prices. I implore that in the next 10 sessions that you're going to have, YB, the closed sessions, that the PSC or the PAC look into something like an NCD model, a no-claim discount model, or a cashback model to prevent people from overusing their insurance. Because the mindset that Bank Negara has highlighted is the buffet syndrome, where people think I have insurance, so I better go to the hospital, right? I went to the hospital for my 1.5-year-old daughter. She had a fever of 40 degrees Celsius. I declared myself as a cash-paying patient. The doctor said, the specialist said, never mind, she's in very good mood, she doesn't need to be admitted. But for all my clients, anyone who's 1.5, they automatically get admitted. And the specialist didn't even charge me a consultation fee, just because I was a cash-paying patient. So there is a double standard, it doesn't make sense. We need a mechanism to regulate medication prices. In one of my dialogue sessions with Ministry of Health, I was told that the big pharma is opposing all efforts to regulate medication prices. This doesn't make sense. If countries like India and so many other countries around the world are able to fix the prices of medications, why can't we? All admissions and surgeries into hospitals must be subject to an open peer review that is published on MMC website. Right now, when I go to MMC website, I have to dig through the website to find out who are the doctors who have faced disciplinary action. Previously, just 2 years ago, it's right there front and center on the website. Now I have to dig. Why is MMC trying to hide this information? And MMC's committees should also be open to industry individuals who are not doctors, not just limited doctors, because then there's a huge conflict. Finally, we have to address what I think is the biggest elephant in the room, which is the conflict of interest. All the largest hospitals in Malaysia have significant shareholding by government investment agencies like EPF, like QAP. So, sorry, no, please don't clap it. Please don't clap it. Because whenever EPF announces 6% dividends, we are so happy. But we have to accept that dividends is coming from what I call blood money, right? So we have to think about that as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What's your name again? Sorry.
Satya.
Satya. Thank you, Satya, for your inputs. Yeah.
Good morning, Yang Berhormat Tuan Pengerusi, MPs and all the guests. I'm Tan and in insurance line for more than 30 years. So I have 4 points, but I'm going to go for a fast one. Go for fast. The first one is regarding the interim measures that are announced last December by Bank Negara. And in January, our company have an internal briefing, and the company told us that if the company want to go beyond 10%, then they just need to put up the application. Once they got the approval, then they can go ahead. So my company is planned to go for 20. Okay, so I would urge Bank Negara, please don't do that. Because we cannot announce publicly maximum 10, but privately we go for 20. Because nobody able to handle the query and the angriness from the policyholder, right? Okay, the second thing is the tremendous increase in the medical cost. I have a very solid case here. In 2010, I have a client going for sinusitis removal to remove a small node here. And doctor only took 35 minutes in operation theater, and the patient can go back after 3 hours, after resting at the lobby sofa. And the bill come to 1,007. 13 years later, 2023, the same thing in private hospital, and you know what is the charges? 23,700. It come to almost 24,000, and the patient is put up 2 nights in the hospital. Okay, the third thing, the government has asked the insurance company to sit down with hospital to seek for solution to lower down the premium. I would think that this will come to the dead end, because you cannot put the rabbit to talk to the tiger. They has been slaughtered the insurance company for 20 years. Okay, so there's no way they will sit down and talk. So the last thing is my humble suggestion. I think that the only exit to stop this issue for once and all, and also I agree that more than half of the audience here would agree that it is a human right to receive treatment. So lastly, I would urge government to put the product under control good regulation, including the medical costs from the hospital and also the insurance premium from the insurance company. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tan. Yeah, a lot of very shocking information from you. Okay, silakan.
Okay, Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera kepada semua. Ya. Nama saya Dr. Nur Aisyah Maidin binti Haji Abdul Aziz. Saya hanya ada 3 poin pada pagi ini dan saya harap tuan-puan dapat mendengarlah betul-betul. Ya. Okay. First and foremost, I am not going to pretend that I am representing anyone other than patients with spina bifida. All right. There are about 7,000 patients with spina bifida in our country now, Semenanjung as well as Sabah dan Sarawak. Okay? I am going to be 50 years old on the 3rd of May 2025. I have had 14 surgeries. All right? Without there being private hospitals in Malaysia to commensurate for whatever problems our government healthcare is facing, I would effectively be dead. I would not be alive. Okay? So make that very clear. Ya? 14 pembedahan. Tanpa doktor-doktor pakar yang hebat di Malaysia ini, and we have many of them, many dedicated, many good people. Tanpa doktor-doktor pakar di Malaysia ini, kanak-kanak birth defects tidak akan mendapat pembelaan. Right? We would effectively be dead. The issue here is insurance. Right? There is no insurance for OKU. Most of us depend on OKU card. But birth defects children need to be operated on. With no doubt, I will not be here. I am 50, I am not even on any medication, not even pain medication. And if I don't look at social media, my blood pressure doesn't go up. Okay? So that is one, who I am, what I do, and who I represent. So now second, I'm going to tell you about what this country is facing, whether we want to believe it or not. Our future generations of Malaysians, our beautiful Malaysian children who should be healthy are now facing a situation where they will be born unhealthy. 91% of my mothers in Malaysia neural tube defects or Persatuan Kecanggaan Tube Saraf Malaysia, 91% of the mothers between the ages of 25 and 35 are either diabetic, pre-diabetic, or they have gestational diabetes. Okay? Something needs to be done there because these mothers are definitely not going to get their insurance. Okay? The bell has rung. Just going to end it with one last thing. You have pharmacists here. You have people here, medicine. Yeah? We're talking about medicine here. Yeah? The argument is generic medicine, all sorts. Yeah. But the issue is, do you know what's actually entering the mouths of mothers in this country? All right. I will tell you facts. If you look at the paper I published in 2018, Cranial Neural Tube Defects and Trimethoprim. Trimethoprim is an anti-folate antagonist. Okay? Anti-folate antagonist. Most of my most severe patients with spina bifida are in Johor. That one area in Johor, there is a dumping ground of trimethoprim in the waterways. So, YBs, you need to look at interministerial cooperation here. And there must be a route for whistleblowers, a safe route for whistleblowers, so that everyone can reach out to you and give facts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Eka. Dr. Eka was formerly calon for PKR in Putrajaya, almost become YB. Okay? Yes. Thank you, YB. Alright, silakan.
Salam sejahtera dan Assalamualaikum. Saya Shima, representing Pharma Associations, means Pharmaceutical Innovator Associations. Actually, I have 3 questions, one ask. So the questions I have, the statement I have on behalf of my pharma colleagues, one is on transparency and diversity of insurance. I think resonating what many people say here is that we need more transparency because we notice a lot of transparency as consumer myself, and as our pharma members, we notice a lot of transparency in claiming of the medical insurance and even the insurance policy itself. Do we know actually what is written in the policy, the hidden clauses? So it comes back to like when I wanted to claim for something, then I can't afford to claim it, right? Or it was denied or declined. This is personal point of view. Recently, my mother was admitted, 60-ish. So the insurance is like, very high premium that we pay. The GL said like, okay, approve for this operation, right? Towards the end, we have to pay 90% of the total cost. And I have like, to back and forth to just get the 10% paid. So where is the, there's a lot of hidden clause because it was not given to us, right? The clause is like, okay, very general, everything is covered. But when we wanted to pay, claim, then I have to pay 90% of the bills. So I think a lot of, untransparency in the insurance clauses as well. And the second is what is that extra insurance that we pay? I think kalau macam insurance agent datang to us, then we have like, okay, this is a premium, then we have like, okay, I take it. And then towards the end, like, actually for health, only this portion. So can we actually really look into this basic insurance need? And then if you need all the rider, right, you can actually add on. If you want to go to the 5-star hospital, maybe there should be another additional rider for that. So maybe we need to be able to cover the basic. And National Health Insurance probably will take time. I know MOH has been working on it. But as like, what can we do for this to diversify our insurance plan as well? On my second point, it's a bit more on statistics. It's about the balancing of FDI and DDI. We understand a lot of questions thrown to us as well, but on the medicine pricing, right? But I want to actually just put some statistics for the committee to actually consider. The Edge actually reported a profitability of about 8.1 billion RM only in H1 for life insurance and takaful. This 2024 data. How about pharma sales? In 2022, it's about 11.2 billion pharma total, not only innovator. From hospital, I think last year Q3 is about 1 billion from one hospital, 500 million for another hospital. That was reported, right, in the media. But for pharma, innovator pharma company, we also contributed significantly to clinical trials. 80% of clinical trials in Malaysia is contributed by MNCs. And you know what is our revenue back? Investment back from our revenues, about 15 to 20% goes to clinical trials. And Malaysia, honestly speaking, has a good platform for us, a pharma company, to actually invest in clinical trials. So it has, progressed significantly. So Malaysia is a very good market actually for clinical trials. So it opens up an early access to more and more patients in Malaysia. How about employment? So total pharma, about 95% high skill jobs employment. And talk about medicine pricing. 14% of total medical bill in Malaysia, it was reported in Code Blue. Only 14% goes to medicine pricing. In Taiwan, 12%. So I think it's something for the committee to consider as well. And then to answer to some of the medicine costs, right? For innovative pharmaceutical company, some have, some don't have, but we also have a patient scheme. either it's being transferred to patient, I think it's a question mark. Thirdly, on the consumer's right.
Shima,
Yes.
the time is up.
Okay.
30 seconds. Finish
Okay,
it.
30
Thank you.
seconds. I think lastly is consumers' right for us actually to have like, you know, a consumer's right. In February 2025 there is a letter given to a hospital to cut costs, but we as a consumer, do we actually know that was actually given to the hospital, directive from the hospital, that will actually potentially steer the decision of the physicians to treat the patients. And last but not least, we as a pharma members want to request to actually have a session with you so you will know what actually we are facing in this market.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I think we have invited Pharmaceutical Association, but feel free to give your contact so that we can also invite your Pharmaceutical and Innovation Association, right? Okay, thank you very much. Terima kasih. Silakan.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am the other Dr. Aisha. I'm Professor Dr. Aisha from University of Malaya. I'm a breast surgeon and I'm representing Together Against Cancer, an advocacy group that is made up of patients, carers, healthcare providers and supporters. So we have two main points that we'd like for you to consider and 4 recommendations that we would like you to consider. First of all, I think in terms of insurance not responding to the reality of cancer diagnosis and treatments. So what we see is that people, healthy people with benign pre-existing illness are being excluded from coverage. For example, a normal breast ultrasound that shows a breast cyst in a 25-year-old will be excluded from breast cancer coverage. Secondly, cancer treatments. Some are denied treatments, especially those that were deemed to be preventive in nature. So I think Dato' Ibrahim mentioned this earlier, but we have patients who need treatments for 5 years or 10 years for treatment, not for prevention of recurrence, are denied claiming the insurance for these medications. And these treatments are also being done in the outpatient setting and therefore cannot be claimed. Okay, the third one is that cancer patients have the right to be forgotten. That means that pre-existing condition can be forgotten. So for example, in the European countries, there are legislation that protects cancer patients that have survived 8 years or 10 years, and they are no longer considered as pre-existing illness, therefore availing the ability to have insurance coverage after the diagnosis. All right, the second point here that we would like to say is that I'm also a professional, right? So I do know that our medical fees are fixed. It has been fixed for decades now, and it is legislated. However, medical fees from the hospital side is not legislated or controlled. We know there's a Transparency Act for the drugs, but it is not really available for the other things. So we also agree with the conflict of interest point there, that most of these hospitals that do not really tell us the markup of prices are actually GLCs. Okay? So therefore, we have 4 points that we would like to recommend. Number 1, we have to improve the insurance instruments that respond to people's needs, and it's not just for insuring the healthy. Number 2, we should be moving towards fairer community-rated insurance instead of personal risk-rated insurance to respond especially to the silver economy. Because we know that private personal insurance is non-sustainable. The third point is, I think the main thing is that I don't think we are spending enough for public health issues. We need to increase the GDP for public health spending. We are actually one of the lowest, if not the region, the world, for our class of the country that we are in, which is the upper middle income country. The last one is we should review the transparency of hospital fees, the markups and so forth. And we should be providing financial counselling upfront to gut catastrophic spending among patients and their families in private sector. And all this need to be regulated. So that's all from me. So we are from Together Against Cancer. So we'll be very happy to contribute in any way we can to the Ministry of Health and also the government. Thank you, YB.
Thank you, Professor Dr. Aisha, for your inputs. Thank you. Yeah, silakan.
Hello. Respected YB SIM and all the YBs on the stage, and ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. Salam sejahtera, Xiao Hao, and Wanakam. So let me introduce myself. My name is Sivakumar Subramaniam. I'm a district manager representing one of my company. I'm in the business of 30 years. Okay, so over these 30 years, I'm experiencing the medical pricing almost like 15 to 10 times, even for my personal policy. So, but today there are a few feedback which I like to put it up here. This is my personal one or two questions I would like to put up here. Okay, so as you know, every human beings have three necessities. As you know, food, shelter, and clothing. And this is very important necessity. So just in case of anything, if it were to happen, right, so we need insurance, especially the medical, all right? So without medical insurance, all our hard-earned income will just wipe out. So that's the main reason why we will be having insurance. So basically insurance, when you talk about insurance, it's a transfer of risk. Okay, so when you're talking about this insurance, right, when I mentioned just now, without insurance, if anything would happen, all our income will wipe out. When you're talking about current situation right now, looking at if let's say there is no medical repricing was regulated, we worry in future all our hard-earned income will wipe out as well. Okay, so now I have a very important question down here. Okay, do the number of foreigners coming to our country, Malaysia, under Malaysia My Second Home program, a residency through investment concept that allows foreigners to invest and reside in Malaysia for at least, like for example, 20 years. As we all know that Malaysia is a heaven for many foreigners, and they are living standard compared to our locals, citizens, much more better, especially we comparing our B40 group. For example, for those who are earning income of USD 3,000, if let's say this USD 3,000 candidate come to Malaysia under this program, when they convert this money, easily they can get about 12 to 13,000 when they talk about the currency exchange. With this 12 to 13,000 in Malaysia, this person can able to have T20 lifestyle. Now, as you know, many foreigners coming to Malaysia under this program called medical tourism. Okay, to cater this group of people, and I'm sure all medical center embraces with the latest technologies. Okay, they come out with the robotic operation, this and that. Okay, now this is the needs for the this group of people so that they can able to get a better medical treatment down here in Malaysia with cheaper cost compared to their own country. Okay, now due to this, right, the medical costs gone up, and eventually it will be impacted all our local citizens with medical repricing. This is question number one. The second one, are there charges at the medical centers in Malaysia different for local citizens compared to foreigner or foreign patients? So we wouldn't know. So if you go to Malaysia, medical centers, if let's say the charges is standard, we're supposed to charge for the foreigners. If let's say we as a local paying the same price, which we feel is not fair for the locals. Okay, so eventually this could able to impact on our medical repricing. So this is the information I would like to highlight here. So thank you for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your input. Next, to our gentleman on the right.
Good morning. My name is Lim Ting Chuan. I'm the president of the Malaysian Association of Pharmaceutical Suppliers. Healthcare cost has many components. Seeing that there are many stakeholders today, MAPS as an association representing importers and suppliers of generally low-cost, high-volume pharmaceuticals. For today, I would like to limit our input to the question of cost of medicines towards the overall cost of healthcare. My colleague from Pharma mentioned that the contribution of healthcare medicines is about 14 or 15%. So that's the most impact that we would have on the overall cost. We thank the PAC for the closed-door session invitation scheduled for next month, and we are pleased to accept. We are already preparing some slides for that purpose. As part of the joint World Health Organization and Health Action International project on medicine prices and availability, a series of in-depth reviews have been published. These are actually studies done in different countries. They have looked at the models, and they've come up with some recommendations. Specifically, the WHO HAI review series on pharmaceutical pricing policies and interventions, working paper 2. There are 6 papers. So this is basically from working paper 2. The role of health insurance in the cost-effective use of medicines is referred here. It's a long paper, but I'm just going to pick the important points, the 4 points. The working paper is available as a download resource on the HAI website. You can just try it yourself. To be brief, the paper states that insurance systems are likely to need to use a combination of policies and management strategies that may include, number 1, selection, defining a formulary or reimbursable list, requiring generic substitution for some medicines, and prior authorization for some medicines, designing co-payments to encourage use of preferred cost-effective medicines. Second, purchasing, negotiating prices and setting quality and other conditions for medicines supplied. The part about setting quality is defunct because our NPRA sets the quality which is equivalent to all. Negotiating volume rebates, conducting competitive bidding. Number 3, contracting, setting the terms and conditions for payment of health service providers to influence prescribing and dispensing. Example, capitation, payments, or budgets that include medicines costs, performance-related pay, contracting with a preferred pharmacy network. Fourthly, utilization management, implementing programs to educate patients and prescribers and audit and give feedback to prescribers. We see today that policies and strategies are only partially adopted by the insurers. We hope for a more holistic approach to cost-effective use of medicines. We hope that effective adoption of tried and tested policies can stem the need for hikes in healthcare premiums. Finally, love your innovators and your biologics, but please use generics and biosimilars. Thank you.
Okay, terima kasih, Mr. Lim. Next, we go to our gentleman on the left.
Morning, morning to you to YBs. Thank you for your passion and for your concern. I think YB Sin mentioned earlier on that quite encouraged with about 400 plus people here today. But I think I got to know about this from reading the newspaper, and there was a link that said EC Borang. There was a problem with the link. I don't know if anybody else faced that. And I could not get into that link, and I had to go into multiple newspapers, and finally when I got to the edge, that's when I got a good link. And I realized where the problem is, because the link had Parliament Malaysia, but because it's a very long link, the newspaper puts a hyphen to overlap. So I think if you had the link correctly, you probably have 3 times the number over here, because this is a very hot topic. It's being debated everywhere. So please, I hope the Parliament will spend a significant amount of time considering this issue. Now, I want to go into my own experience. I started with an insurance policy paying about 2,600 about 15 years ago, 2,600 per year. And according to my age bracket, this year I should be paying about 8,000. But last year I was already paying 15,000 in premiums. It was already increased once. And then a few months later, I got another letter saying it's going to be 22,000 per year. That's my premium. And I'm in my retirement age. I'm being forced to work actually just to support my insurance premium. Now, because we couldn't get all these fancy policies 15 years ago, these $1 million policies that you see going around these days, it was only covered by about a few $100,000. I took a second policy about 12 years ago. So that second policy has not gone up as much. This first policy I just mentioned, the premium has gone up by 200% based on my current age, what it should have been at my current age. It's gone up by 200%. But the other insurance policy has only gone up by 100%. So I'm giving you some data. There is no consistency across insurance companies as to how much they're raising. They're doing it arbitrarily, I think, because based on my own data, that is, I have two policies. Now, the other thing that I want to bring up is this so-called blacklisting of hospitals by insurance companies. And it's not really been publicized. I happened to find out from my agent accidentally that my insurance company will not cover Thompson hospitals, right? Because of some dispute they're having. And by the way, this is not communicated to us. Sorry, let me correct myself here. When I say they don't cover, what I mean is they don't provide a guarantee letter, all right? They don't provide a guarantee. So what if there's an emergency and I've got to go to the hospital? Am I supposed to be calling my agent to say, is my family member supposed to call my agent and say, who's the compatible hospital that will accept me with a guarantee letter? I think these kind of things need to be communicated. Now, I welcome what the previous speaker said about medical tourism. That was also my point. Medical tourism is probably why we have these 5-star lobbies in the hospitals. And I don't think we should be having that, okay? And maybe this is a government's policy or strategy or the healthcare industry's strategy that, you know, they want to make more profits by bringing in foreigners. Fine, have a separate charging system. And also for Malaysians, we're happy to have a separate entrance with 3-star facilities. Leave the 5-star for the foreigners. I think another speaker said that we should have a department under the Prime Minister's office. That's very good, because right now you just have Bank Negara. I'm brushing over here. You just have Bank Negara for insurance. But we need one body that regulates the hospitals, the insurance companies, and the farmers. All a one-stop shop, and also an easy process for a normal citizen to register a complaint with this arbitration body. This is something that we need. Medical care, just like the government regulates, this is just my last point, 20 seconds. The government regulates the price of rice. It regulates the price of petroleum. Medical care is equally as important, and the government should step in. It's high time the government steps in to regulate all these people, to get them into coordination, synchronize them, and make sure we get affordable health care. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Yeah, silakan.
YB, thank you for having this public hearing for us. I'm Tan Ji Kwang. I'm 64 retiree. I started to purchase this insurance for 26 years, since 1999. The insurer changed hand two times. The insurance A didn't increase much the premium. Insurer B increased twice, but while adjusted, they upgrade our this coverage. But come to 2016, the insurer C, it started to go up, but I didn't complain. I didn't write a complaint, but it go up 21%. 2017, the past few years for the 2016 before they maintain 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, 4 years at the same premium. But after 2016, they either increase alternate or every year. Now started 2022, they increase. 2022, I actually attained 60 years old. So they give me this re-rating, okay, fine, 39%. But repricing is 30%. I asked them how you calculate out. They say you just You just, this is their, what, you just refer to the FAQ lah. FAQ means a frequent ask question or answer question lah. Item 5, I ask them whether you get the approval from BNM or not. BNM got ACTA. You have to follow the ACTA. The ACTA is FSA 2013. So I ask them whether you follow or not. They say, no. This is a commercial decision made by, I don't want to name the insurer now, please. After careful consideration of factors like medical inflation. How you calculate out, we don't know. Only the regulatory body know. That's BNM. BNM, ACTA is already there for 2013. But did they enforce it or not? Or they just put it for show? I also communicate to BNM. BNM, after reading the complaint letter, say, why not you work together with the insurer? How to work together with the insurer? Okay. Another thing is the private hospital, okay? Previously, private hospital, there is a regulatory body also. But where is the regulatory body? Independent. They actually formed by the independent doctor. They call it MDAC. MDAC stands for Medical Dental Advisory Committee. Where are they? They are really removed. So nobody monitor the charges or the fee. They're supposed to have an independent regulatory body actually formed by all these doctors. When the bill go to the patient or policy holder, they have to check. They have to check each by each whether different or not, whether standard or not. Then first they have to report to the hospital itself. Then if the hospital don't want to adjust back, don't want to, how to say, justify back, then they have to report to the MOH. This is the regulatory body, but I think the failure is there. The two regulatory body, there is one is our financial body, that's BNM. Another one is MDAC, Medical Dental Advisory Committee. Please put it back so you solve all the problem.
Yeah, Mr. Tan.
So another thing is very scary. So you see, now
Mr. Tan,
every year.
can you finish in 20 seconds, please?
Okay. 10 seconds. Every year, alternate year, you got to increase. Now I'm retiree. I just pay from my saving. I pay for 4 members of my family member. Now I could not afford. I just pay for myself and pay for my wife. So the premium rate is more than 10%. Hopefully it will be 5%. So I see one of my, three of our, this premium for 2026, 9.5 already. My daughter who actually paid earlier, still stick to the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tan. Okay, like this, I think because today is Friday, and then there's a Friday prayer, so we have to finish it, if possible, by 12, yeah? So I think I need to reduce a bit of the time, yeah? So now, everyone 3 minutes, okay? Yeah, sorry, I know everyone wants to speak. We want to give chance for you to speak. Yes, silakan.
Okay, hi, good morning. My name is Mini Yap. I'm a financial planner from VKA Wealth Planner. I'm in insurance industry for around 8 years. So here are some of my points of views. So I suggest actually we should have the flexibility to choose whether to remain the premium or top up according to our affordability when it comes to the medical repricing, because there is cash value in the policy for investment-linked medical plan. So when the medical rider is having repricing, can the letter state the sustainability of the plan, such as like initially the plan is sustained until 70 years old. So right now, due to medical repricing, maybe reduced until to 65 years old or 67. So can the insurance company provide that so that we can make a choice whether we want to top out or top up according to our affordability? So second thing, hospital bill actually didn't reveal to patient before discharge. So policy owner actually doesn't know the total amount of the bill and also the amount need to self-pay. Some private hospital ask the policy owner to do some tests or assessment which is not necessary and not covered by insurance company. So at the end, the policy owner have to pay the bill for more than 1,000 for unnecessary tests. And one of my clients actually charged by one of the private hospital. the details there written, nursing assessment or admission or discharge, which is cost 332 ringgit. So when we asked the private hospital, what is the charges about? The nurse actually told us that is for sanitizing the room every day. So my client is actually staying for 4 days. So 4 days cost 322 ringgit, which is ridiculous. You are hospital, we are not Airbnb, right? Airbnb also even charge one time for the cleaning fees only. So at the end, I actually helped my client to file the complaint to hospital, then only they refund the money to my client. So imagine those who didn't complain, then they have to pay law. So lastly, I want to say that adjust the commission for agents to yearly like general insurance instead of 6-year commission once they close the deal. Because some agents actually after successfully close the deal, they no longer provide service to the policy owner, such as assisting clients in handling the claims. So when the policy owner requests to transfer the servicing agent, the commission is actually still received by the previous agent instead of the new agent who provides a good service. This is actually unfair to agents who is doing a good job. So, and then I found out that in last year, one of the insurance company which is introduced medical plan, whereby there is a claim, the following year premium is increased. So I think this plan is fair enough for client who doesn't make a claim. Because many people feel that, oh, I pay for the premium, but never claim before. So wasted, rugi lah. So I think this way it can actually help to manage the insurance pool fund. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you, Winnie. Yeah, sir, silakan.
Okay, salam sejahtera YB. Saya ada beberapa persoalan dan saya mohon lebih masa lah. Sebab ulasan saya perlukan juga YB sebagai pengumumah dasar untuk akta semua. Jadi saya perlukan satu ulasan daripada YB berhubung dengan hujahan-hujahan saya sama ada berasas. Sebab dalam isu ini saya nak beritahu ada tak wakil daripada Bank Negara? Sebab saya lebih suka berdepan. Kalau tak ada, saya cakap dia tak berminat dengan isu yang sepatut dia kawal selia. Lepas tu YB cakap dia committed. Daripada langkah jangka pendek yang diambil, dia tidak berminat langsung. Sebab dia hanya tahu berunding dengan pihak insurans dengan tidak menjemput pihak FOMKA ataupun PPIM. Adakah keputusan yang dicapai itu bernas dan memihak? Kenapa
Tuan boleh beri nama?
Siapa dia? Ko Eng Huat.
Okay, dalam isu ini 3 minit saja, jadi
bukan kalau boleh kasih masa. Sebab saya banyak fakta. Hujahan ini untuk membela rakyat. Okey, antara hujahan yang saya nak cakap ialah saya nak jaminan daripada ni PAC sama ada kekebalan tak apa yang kita berhujah ini. Sebab satu ialah kita nak mempertahankan kerajaan. Satu ialah institusi penguasa membuat satu keputusan yang tidak memihak ahli tuju kerajaan. Di mana PMX menyatakan kita kena merasionalisasikan subsidi bersasar supaya tidak bersasar. Dalam isu ini, kalau pihak penguasa membuat keputusan komersial, memang apa yang tadi saudara apa cakap, keputusan Bank Negara selama ni, saya ada 9 keputusan Bank Negara dan untuk kepengetahuan YB, aduan ini telah dibuat semenjak 2023. 9 keputusan Bank Negara dan rumusan keputusan Bank Negara adalah kami akan memastikan pihak PPK menjalankan perniagaan secara adil, saksama dan profesional. Saya dah boleh hafal. Tapi itu yang dia janji. Tapi apa yang berlaku tak ada. Dalam isu ni, dia menyatakan keputusan pihak PPK, keputusan
kita kekurangan
bukan,
masa.
maksudnya ini ialah untuk demi rakyat.
Mungkin nanti you boleh.
Bukan, ini sebab saya nak satu daripada jaminan supaya sebab media pun takut nak ambil kenyataan. Satu dia takut apa yang kita buat ni tidak menyokong Bank Negara. Tapi bukan Bank Negara salah. Salah ialah penguasa. Penguasa yang tidak bertanggungjawab.
Jadi
dalam
boleh
isu
rumus
ini,
dalam 1 minit, Mr. Ko.
Okey, dalam isu ini dia cakap dia akan pastikan PPK. Lepas tu dalam aduan saya, kenapa premium boleh dinaikkan? Sebab bila you cakap premium tidak dinaikkan, boleh dinaikkan, dia cakap ada terma menindas. Dia cakap premium tidak dijamin terletak dalam terma. So, dalam akta pengubalan akta perkhidmatan kewangan, di mana dinyatakan objektif akta ini. Boleh tengok muka surat 30-31.
Encik nanti you provide kepada urus setia.
Bukan, ini sebab ini satu penerangan yang bagus supaya saya nak ulasan daripada yang YB. Sebab dalam dia punya pernyataan, saya hanya nak cakap objektif lah. Objektif akta kemudahan kewangan, sila lihat muka surat 30 ke 31. Okey, objektif pengawasan utama akta ini adalah untuk menggalakkan kestabilan kewangan bagi mencapai objektif berikut. Memupuk keselamatan, kesekukuhan, kecekapan, semualah.
Ya.
Nombor B, berusaha untuk melindungi hak kepentingan pengguna perkhidmatan dan produk kewangan. Dalam isu ni, bila dia cakap hak komersial, bermaksud keputusan komersial, apa yang berlaku?
Ya.
Jadi dia mengaku terma menindas, terma tidak jamin ada dalam polisi. Jadi saya ada buat sesi libat urus dengan Bank Negara, Prudential dan juga UOB. Dalam ada 15 orang, saya hanya seorang dibenarkan. PPIM kalau ada wakil dia tak dibenarkan masuk. Dalam isu ni, saya cuba martabatkan tapi dia tak mau martabat.
Terima kasih. Mr. Koh.
Bukan nak sebab ini penting.
Saya
apa
tahu,
yang
saya
cakap
tahu.
ni?
Kita pun deal
Bukan
dengan
nak
isu
malukan,
yang
bukan
penting
nak malukan.
juga.
Kita nak bank negara penguasa dia sedar. Di mana dalam jaminan
Nanti
bukan
kita
dalam
bagi
bukan sekarang
keterangan.
maksudnya saya nak cakap dalam perjanjian dia masih boleh menghalalkan ikatan yang menjanjikan premium tidak jamin, sedangkan polisi bank negara fair treatment of financial consumer, layanan adil, dan sebab tu dicerminkan dalam piagam pengguna yang dinamakan.
Okey.
You boleh tengok itu
Baik.
credentialnya.
Terima kasih
to
banyak
take
ya.
customer fairly, openly, honestly.
Faham.
Bukan saya
Point
nak
taken.
sikit. Jadi ulasan adakah berasas sebab dalam dia punya keputusan, kami juga mendapati pihak tuan telah mengeluarkan beberapa kenyataan atau ulasan yang tidak berasas.
Okey, macam ni,
No.
Mr. Koh, nanti kita minta
Bukan,
seorang
adakah
urus dia
ulasan-
attend to your complaint, boleh?
Maksudnya saya
seorang
nak tahu,
seorang
maksudnya sebagai penguasa lia, bila dia cakap akan memastikan, tetapi dia mengapa dia boleh cakap itu menindas.
Faham.
Lepas tu
Boleh.
bila saya cakap dia Prudential ada buat tawaran
Okey.
untuk saya kekalang.
Faham.
Lepas tu arahan pendidikan tetap yang dia panggil sign tak ada nilai. Saya letak nilai, dia cakap tak boleh. So saya cakap biar bank negara putuskan. Bank negara tak putuskan.
Ya.
No, this
Nanti kita akan assign seorang urus dia dengan Mr. Koh, Mr. Koh. Terima kasih.
No, I know
Kerana
it's for
ramai
public interest.
lagi. Sebab kita kesuntukan masa ya. Minta maaf. Terima kasih. Baik, silakan.
So adakah berasas? Adakah ini boleh kenyataan macam ni saya diagugut?
Kita nanti urus dia akan tengok ya. Terima kasih banyak ya.
Thank you.
Kita mengalu-alukan YB Teresa Kok daripada Seputih, Kuala Lumpur.
Okay, thank you, YB, Sim, and all the rest of the parliaments. My name is Dr. Gunalan, and actually the private specialist affairs in charge of the Malaysian Medical Association. Glad to see quite a number of my familiar faces in all our previous discussions as well. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to actually represent the doctors. I think the main thing that I get from today's discussion, there's a lot of demonization of the role of doctors and private hospitals that is actually grossly misrepresented here today. I think a lot of times people do not understand what takes place behind the scene in the private hospital, in the work that is being done by the private doctors as well. Second thing, our partners in the medical insurance industry, I call them partners because if not for their presence at this moment in time, the health of the nation would be in a crisis. KKM will not be able to sustain the delivery of healthcare. Now that is a very important understanding. We must acknowledge their role. Are they perfect? No. Is private hospital perfect? No. Are doctors perfect? No. But this is where the forum has to be put in place, where we engage with the relevant stakeholders. And I thank YB for actually having the courage to take it by the bull by its horn, because next month we're going to have a meeting with all the stakeholders again, where we have actually prepared a very detailed analysis and proposal that we will share as well with YB. In the interest of time, I'm not going to do what was done previously, but I'll just go straight to the point in terms of what we find as the demonization of private healthcare, which is not fair. Because today, in a small district hospital, you have a private hospital. 20, 30 years ago, there was no private hospital. What happened? People were going to Singapore, India, and UK for treatment. Now we have brought cardiac surgery, neurosurgery to your doorstep, oncology treatment to your doorstep. This is not with the investment of the government. Government facilitate, yes, but the GLCs were pumping and investing the money, allowing people like me, I'm a private specialist as well, allowing people like me to actually provide that service to people. And we are actually doing it based on regulated fees. Doctors are not simply marking up the prices or simply charging based on what we feel like charging, because it's all regulated. Now, are there outliers? Are there people who are unscrupulous? Yes, they are. But that is where the role of the public comes into play. Malaysian Medical Council is there. We need to put also complaints and stuff like that there. I'm also going to focus about the life insurance industry. I think Mark is here as well. To their credit, their annual reports are published. All right, so Bank Negara has got details. It's all available on the website. Now, there's one component of fees that is actually not being spoken about at all. 5.5 billion is actually the agency commission. Now, we need to look at that. Is the total provision of healthcare in Malaysia was 7.7 billion. That is being paid for to the hospitals and the doctors. But 5.5 billion is actually the agency commission, which is quite steep, almost 2/3 of the total cost. Now, is there a possibility of changing some of this policy delivery or the distribution mechanism to what was mentioned earlier, the online system? Singapore has got about 40% of their deliveries direct policy purchase online as well. Some of these savings can actually be passed on to the consumers as well. There are many highly savvy, sophisticated customers who can do that. So I think there's a lot of improvement and innovation that can be done by the private insurance themselves. Now, final point that I want to make is with regards to the MOH's proposal of DRG. Now, diagnosis-related groupings, please get all the stakeholders' involvement into the process and discussion. Because the way things are being proposed, we fear that it is going to destroy private healthcare as we speak. Now, what is going to happen is you are going to limit access to healthcare to a certain group of patients because they are high risk. They then end up being channeled from the public hospital to the private to the public hospital as well, further delaying treatment. So these are a lot of things that we need to look at carefully. So thank you again, YB, for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Gunalan.
We'll
Thank
see
you
on
very
the
much
fourth.
for your input. Very much. Okay, silakan. Tuan.
Good afternoon. My name is Yo. Everyone knows the complexity about the healthcare. Coming back to private hospitals, my personal experience is one private hospital diagnosed me with a situation which will cost 90,000. I went for a second opinion. I got it all done for 23,000. So this is a very clear-cut case. And that's 2 years ago. I'm walking fine today, L4, L5 operation. Now, next thing is on age for senior citizens. When they hit 70, even though you have not claimed your lifetime limit, and when you try to get a renewal, they will tell you, because of other histories, we are not going to renew your policy. Since the last 5 months, my wife and I are at age 70. We have approached a few insurance companies, but they are willing to give policies until age 100. My question is, why the existing company is not willing to extend the policy like new policies now that has been offered? This, I believe, is because Bank Negara has lately started to look into all this. There's another thing about Bank Negara I must give my compliment is, they are doing a good job, because when they look at certain claims, when they get into the picture, the insurance company will then process the claims. So the question is, for senior citizens, old policies hitting 70, very difficult to get a renewal policy, even though there are new companies that are willing to look at your policy, but they will always say, depends on the underwriter. For 20 over years, I've paid my policies, and my claims have not been even 50% of the lifetime limit. So the question is, at this age when you're retired, no income, you're going to end up queuing up government hospitals. 20 over years, insurance companies have taken premiums, and now you are left in the cold. So we will be starting to queue up in government hospitals. That's all I need to say.
Thank you, Mr. Neo. Okay, I think we have to stop people from queuing already. This is the last, okay? Yeah, silakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good day to everyone here. Very caring people. And to our respective leaders from respective field. I'm very sorry you have to tahan perut for lunch for this. All right, I'm Azila Zulkifli. I've been in insurance industry, having my own takaful agency for now 16 years. And also married to an accountant who has an accounting firm for 17 years now. So I believe I'll be bridging the gap between the seniors and also the young ones. And coming from a medical background and also political science background, I think I understand the socio-economics of what's the issue here. So basically my petition is consideration to increase and separate tax relief allocation for both family takaful or life takaful, insurance as well, for medical, education, retirement sections, since insurance has multi-purpose, not just for medical card and hibah or life insurance, but it serves as a highly reliable and most importantly, Sharia compliant wealth creation and preservation tool for individuals and also corporations in order to have a holistic peace of mind and lifestyle. Separate the medical tax relief allocation for individuals, corporations, providing not only for spouse and children, but also for elderly parents. Imagine me, I'm also paying for my parents, their insurance, but I cannot claim tax relief. All right? This will also ease the cost for public hospitals in treating elderly patients, since medical card for elders will be seen as more affordable for their working class next of kin. Now, providing, such as in Singapore, they provide more working chances for senior citizens in servicing sectors, so they are kept busy, stay sociable in society and active. They have ample income to sustain their living in this current demanding economy, as what public service in Singapore has been practicing. More healthy seniors means less medical costs and sustainable medical inflation. This will create a good domino effect on our current society and nation building, hence give a good reference for our young generations to follow suit, stay active and retire actively. Now, I blame the social media on all the good viral food. Would you agree that everyone is eating, easily eating bad food? So, especially in schools, do you see what they feed our kid? So, this is one thing that we should also remind ourselves and also our next of kin to stay active, jaga diri, jaga makan, so less demand in medical assistance. There's also that. So with that, I hope everyone would cooperate and work together in ensuring our socio-economics in medical treatment and also insurance will be given a proper attention. So I really hope to the leaders up there, you help us. This is a cry for help for all pharma, medical, hospital insurance. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Puan Mazila. I can see that you are really jaga makan juga, ya. Silakan.
I think about afternoon, so I say good afternoon. My name is Eugene. I'm an agent from Prudential. So actually I've been in the business and for quite some time, I'm still surviving. So a few things that I read from the media and the newspaper, I guess the only thing that they miss out is education. They should implement what is financial planning to the youngsters, young generation. What is insurance about? Is insurance a commitment or what? Actually, to us, insurance is a contract. So why, based on contract, what the insurance company should provide? And what things you should do to preserve your benefits, like waiting period, contestability period, your medical card coverage, and what should you do when you got hospitalized, and what should you do before you leave the hospital. So all this is small things. We train the young one from they are young. That's why you see our seniors here, right, they're making noise, say that not doing renewal for you, all things like that, because it's based on contract. So not everything can be renewed as per what our heart want. So second thing about medical inflation. Actually, a few days ago, I met up with a doctor because my client got admitted. I was being informed by the doctor that he's not very happy because some insurance company is pressing them or controlling them in terms of type of medicine can be used. So this is affecting the recovery stage of the client. So I hope the authority will take note about this thing. You nak control cost boleh, tapi buat cara yang betul lah. Janganlah masuk hospital asyik makan ubat tak baik. Okay, on the doctors, I feel I check back the claim documents, your charges cuma 80 sampai 120 saja. So you guys are not charging a lot. Doctors are not to be blamed here. Another thing, finally, is your medicine cost. I don't know whether that the medical is being imposed tax or not. If it is being imposed tax, I do hope that custom or kementerian, whatever kementerian, please make medical products to be tax-free, so that when you tax-free, the costs are reaching us as end user. Because even I'm agent, I'm also policy holder, so I won't gonna just cow here. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Ya, silakan.
Salam Malaysia Madani Tuan. YB, thank you for this opportunity. A lot I have learned from here, from all the speakers. Thank you. My name is Parimala. I am an insurance practitioner for over 3 decades. So during the first decade, what I've experienced is medical insurance premiums go up due to age. There was no medical repricing. But along the way, especially like most of them shared here from the 2016 onwards, and especially after the pandemic, the medical insurance premium has been going up very much, between 30 to 40%. The reason I'm here today is because I would like to plead to all the stakeholders. There's a lot of blame game going on here. So whether it's the medical insurance companies, or whether it's Bank Negara, or Ministry of Health, or Ministry of Finance, or pharmaceutical companies, private hospital practitioners, please, we are in a very serious situation now. We take Malaysians, we are categorized into 3 financial categories: B40, M40, and T20. So what happens to B40? B40s, because of their income bracket, they are given a lot of benefits in the public hospitals free. They have a lot of freebies because they are entitled to it. The T20, they can afford it. So I'm now focusing on the M40. The M40, especially after the pandemic, we have been really hemmed in between. You see, some will be remaining in M40, a small amount will move to T20, but with a lot of things going around us, especially with the medical insurance premiums hike, we are going to drop into B40. So there's going to be a lot of people queuing up in the public hospitals to be treated. Is the government prepared for that? Are our public hospitals prepared for such a long queue there? We can't even manage the current situation now. And the fear factor I have now is I keep on hearing this phrase, oh, medical insurance is going to be only for the rich. I don't think the way the premiums are going up, it's not going to be affordable for the common man. This is a very, very serious situation. So all the stakeholders, I plead to you, come together and put the premiums on hike. Because I've been a proud, practitioner of doing claims all my life, and a lot of people who couldn't afford decent and immediate financial, health care were able to get it because of medical insurance. Today we are losing sight. So I plead to all the stakeholders. Thank you, YB, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Primamala, Puan Primamala. No, this is the exact spirit. Yeah, we are coming here to solve a problem. It's not to blame anyone. Yeah, okay. Silakan.
Okay, just in time for good morning. Okay, I'm Tay Eng Teck from Association of Financial Advisor Malaysia, or Persatuan Penasihat Kewangan Malaysia. So saya balik ke Parlimen Malaysia. Okay, soalan pertama saya adalah satu soalan kerana pengalaman saya sendiri pada tahun lepas bila emak saya dimasukkan untuk menjadi pembedahan di Hospital Sungai Buloh. Apabila discharge, bil yang ditunjukkan dia ada kos sebenar. Kemudian selepas subsidi kerajaan. Okay. Soalan saya lah, kos sebenar yang ditunjukkan, kalau dibandingkan dengan hospital swasta adalah 15 kali ganda lebih tinggi. Itu adalah kos sebelum subsidi kerajaan. So, apakah KKM boleh lakukan untuk membantu harga di private hospital. Sebab ada saya tanya dengan kawan-kawan kata mungkin sebab bulk purchase daripada kerajaan lebih besar, so mungkin kos dia akan lebih rendah. Itu saya bukan pakar. Okay. Yang kedua, ramai sudah mengutarakan perkara ini yang membimbangkan di mana warga emas semua kata nak let go, okay, lepaskan insurans. Masa itu akan melumpuhkan pusat kesihatan awam. So seperti yang dinyatakan tadi, so mungkin lihat kembali kepada pelepasan cukai kepada anak yang membayar untuk ibu bapa dan amount yang had yang ada sekarang 3,000 untuk satu keluarga tanpa kenaikan kos insurans pada hari ini. 3,000 untuk satu orang saya sendiri pun sudah tidak cukup. Dengan isteri, anak, dengan ibu bapa memang tidak munasabah lagi. Okay. Yang ketiga ialah ramai yang juga menyatakan mungkin di zaman sekarang IT celah kewangan, tapi agak membimbangkan saya sebab daripada apa yang saya dengar tadi daripada pemegang-pemegang polisi, ramai yang tidak betul-betul faham dengan insurans. So ini adalah satu penyelesaian jangan panjang di mana perancangan pengurusan kewangan diri perlu diterapkan di dalam sistem pembelajaran kita secara formal. Okay. Ramai yang masih tidak faham apa yang tengah berlaku. Yang akhir sekali berkaitan terus dengan apa yang berlaku sekarang, saya rasa langkah interim yang dicadangkan, dia ditafsirkan secara berlainan oleh insurance company yang berlainan. Setiap company ada tafsiran dia sendiri berpandukan guideline yang diberikan. So sebab kami kita berurusan dengan semua insurance company. So ada yang cara yang jawapan yang kita dapat tidak sama dengan jawapan yang kita dapat daripada insurance company yang berlainan. So mungkin satu perkara ini perlu diseragamkan. Itu saja. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Encik Teh kerana input yang bagus.
Ya.
Silakan.
Salam sejahtera. Selamat tengah hari. My name is Wang Chanwai, pesara baru, 62 tahun dari Shah Alam. Hanya satu point. Rayuan saya adalah urgent point of action untuk Jawatankuasa yang menangani masalah ni. Kerana kalau dilihat carta ni, premium saya dari tahun 2014 sehingga kini, dia dah naik 143%. Maksudnya, saya bermula dengan 400, lebih kurang 420. Sekarang, kalau saya membayar apa yang diminta oleh pihak insurans, setiap bulan RM1,160, bersamaan lebih kurang 14,000 setahun. Dengan itu, saya mengambil pilihan untuk mengekalkan premium yang sedia ada, RM580 satu bulan. Dan itu menghadkan benefit kepada saya. Nampak tak garis berwarna oranye itu menjunam. Right, menjunam. Cantonese say hong ham. It's a red cliff, you know. So boleh dilihat menjunam daripada 40 tahun, coverage sehingga 80 tahun, sekarang hanya 68 tahun. Saya dimaklumkan pihak insurans oleh kerana Encik Wang mengekalkan premium pada RM580, maka adequacy itu hanyalah sehingga 68 tahun. Jadi bagi golongan seperti saya yang merancang untuk retirement kita kan, dah fikir 10 tahun kita beli insurans, sekarang senang lenang, kalau pack to inflation pun kita boleh afford kan. Tapi kalau macam ni, kalau saya bayar mengikut apa yang dicadangkan syarikat insurans sehingga ke akhir hayat saya pada 80 tahun, katakanlah, saya akan membayar RM310,000 kepada pihak insurans. Itu pun tak termasuk interest kan yang saya premium yang saya bayar sebelum ni. Jadi bagi golongan kami YB urgent point of action kepada kami yang akan time out. Saya dah 62 tahun, premium saya pada tahap ni hanya boleh last until 68 tahun. Jadi hanya ada 6 tahun lagi. Jadi itu rayuan saya. Dan bukan untuk saya saja. Saya rasa kalau kamu melihat laporan dari data, ramai mungkin berpuluh ribu seperti saya. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Encik Wong kerana memberi input yang bagus. Silakan.
Okay, good afternoon YBs. Another 3 minutes to 12 noon, so good afternoon. I'm self-paying patient.
What's your name, please?
My name is Peter Wu, yeah, daerah Segambut. Now, what I want to share with you is my own personal experience recently. And I have a mind-boggling finding. And my own experience tells me this: a self-paying patient like my case in a private hospital, I actually pay more than what the insurance companies pay. Now that, of course, a lot of people is like, what? It cannot be true. To my knowledge, to everybody's general knowledge, insurance companies will always be paying more than self-paying. But my experience tells me it's the other way around. Let me illustrate with a real case, and I think you should listen. Yeah. Okay, my son was what I call diagnosed with acute appendicitis 3 weeks ago. Of course, then before that, I inquired with the general surgeon approximately how much would be the cost, because it's acute, which means you have to be operated immediately. You know? And he told me, based on his experience of all the past cases, it should be about 25,000. Of course, in my mind, it's pretty steep, you know, even for appendicitis operation, 25,000. I was thinking more like maybe 15, 20,000. But because it's urgent, I said, fine, let's go ahead and do it here. But the general surgeon was kind. He told me, if 25,000 is something not you can afford, I can write you a letter immediately, and you can go to a government hospital. And I think a lot of people are doing that here. But that operation won't happen today, yeah? It may happen next day or the day after. So anyway, I agreed to 25,000. I said, okay, I'm fine with 25,000. Anyway, he stayed there for 3 nights. It's a normal laparoscopic appendicitis operation. No complication whatsoever. Now, prior to my son being discharged, the general surgeon was in my room, in the ward, so to speak, in the room together with my son. And then the accounts assistants came in with the bill. And guess how much was the bill? 33,000. That is for 3 nights of appendicitis operation. Of course, I was shocked. Even the general surgeon was himself shocked himself. He says, this cannot be 33,000. So anyway, I told him, please do me a favor. Go through the list of 6 pages long. Tell me whether these things are all real or not. I don't understand, you know, medical things and all those stuff, long stuff things. He went through. The general surgeon was very good. He went through, item by item. I think you should listen. Item by item by item. He said, this bill is in order. He says, anyway, fine. I says, fine, I will pay. If it's in order, I will pay. So I paid the bill, right? So the general surgeon said, fine, I'm going to have a meeting with the hotel management. And hotel management pula. Because the place is really like a hotel, maybe, you know. Just kidding. You always think about 3 nights stay, you know, 3 nights stay, you know. So anyway, he said, I'm going to have a meeting with the the hospital management, and I'll find out why. It should be about 25,000. I saw the doctor again the next day. He told me, I found out the reason why, you know. Why is 33,000? It's because you are self-paying. Insurance people pay only 25,000. I said, wow. Then he told me this, you know, by the way, it is no complication, standard operations. And the general surgeon is telling me, I also cannot understand why self-paying is paying more than the insurance companies. Then he said, there's a patient just next to you, just discharged today as well. She is paying, everything is the same. She's paying 26,000, but she's insurance covered. So here is my questions to the PAC. I think I have important questions for you to think about. Yeah. How is it possible that a self-paying patient has to pay a huge premium of about 25%,
You wrap up in 30 seconds.
more than a medically insured patient at a private hospital, when common logic tells you otherwise? 2, how is it that insurance companies with the annual corporate profits deemed to have less ability to pay than a self-paying patient? Is it because insurance companies have the bargaining power, while a self-paying patient like me has no negotiation power? 3, is a self-paying patient paying more? Is this prevalent pricing policy by private hospitals? Is it because they are trying to profit maximize to meet the shareholders' revenue targets? And is this fair on self-paying patient when there is no bargaining power? And lastly, if medical doctors' fees are regulated, how is it hospitalization charges that cost much more than the doctor's fees are not subject to some form of guidance or regulation? As a matter of fact, I'll just tell you how much is the cost in Mahkota Ceras Hospital. They publish it. On the website, you can go for Mahkota Hospital in Malacca. It tells you the cost of the same operation. 25th percentile, that means the lower 25%, they pay 10,250. 50 percentile, they pay 11,810. 75 percentile, they pay 13,400. But I paid 33,000. Less resident discount of 800, so that was 32,000. All right.
Thank you.
So this is much for you, PAC.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter Wu, for your real life story. Yes, thank you.
I want to leave a letter for you to substantiate what I'm saying.
Thank you. Silakan.
Salam sejahtera, Syabas, Yang Berhormat dan Jawatankuasa kira-kira negara kerana mengadakan sesi pendengaran awam ini. Saya Muhammad Syani Abdullah, Merdeka Boy. 68 dah. Tak ada insurans. Tapi saya sejak MCE terlibat dalam NGO. Dan bila mula kerja saya dah aktif dalam NGO. Bermakna 40 tahun. Dan terlibat dalam pelbagai majlis jawatankuasa untuk advokasi dasar awam. Bagaimanapun cara dan corak libat urus dasar awam dan penggubalan undang-undang harus diperbaiki, bukan sekadar tick the box event. So, dan saya cuba cari peluang nak jumpa YB. Semalam ada orang muda tu sindir saya lah. Itu menjadi satu yang mencabar apa keberhasilan tindakan kita. Dan saya tak percaya ni kita bersara ni. Selama kita bernafas, kita mesti menjadi yang berhormat, yang berkhidmat. Okey. Tentang isu skim pembiayaan perkhidmatan kesihatan telah mula dibincangkan oleh Kementerian Kesihatan lebih 20 tahun dulu. Saya terlibat. 2 minit tadi. Dan cadangan sekadar menangani isu premium insurans kesihatan tidak akan mengatasi masalah. Mesti ada satu skim pembiayaan kesihatan nasional untuk mengimbangi ataupun satu saingan kepada insurans kesihatan swasta. Barulah tindakan-tindakan pesaing itu akan memberi kesan yang adil kepada pengguna. Dan maka cadangan satu adalah penubuhan skim insurans kesihatan sosial nasional. Mekanisme pembiayaan kerajaan perlu menubuhkan skim insurans kesihatan sosial nasional yang mewajibkan sumbangan berdasarkan pendapatan dengan subsidi untuk golongan berpendapatan rendah. Perincian rawatan dan harga skim harus memperincikan semua jenis rawatan dengan menetapkan harga yang telus dan memastikan perkiraan premium yang adil. Dengan adanya skim ini akan mewajarkan pihak swasta dan juga hospital swasta telus dengan perkadaran harga rawatan. Dan kawal selia ni, persaingan harus digunakan untuk kawal selia kualiti dan juga harga yang dikenakan. Dan selanjutnya, perkara kos sara hidup ni harus berkaitan dengan dasar-dasar seperti gaji wajar dan juga rasionalisasi subsidi yang dilaksanakan. So ini harus ditangani secara keseluruhan daripada menangani satu-satu aspek yang menjadi beban kepada sara hidup rakyat Malaysia. Sekian, terima kasih.
Terima kasih Encik Shani. Okey, sekarang 12:06. Kita akan, kalau saya kira lah, we will finish about 12:25 or something like that lah. Yeah. So after that, we will wrap up a bit. Saya cakap sedikit dan YB Teresa Kok sebagai timbalan akan cakap sedikit, then we wrap up. 12:30, we will have a little bit of press conference over there. Yeah. And then kalau ada sesiapa yang ingin masih nak jumpa dengan kami, I will stay until 1 o'clock. Yeah, you can continue to engage us. Okay, silakan. Okay, we are recording. We are mencatat. We write everything in here. We are not watching the phone. Don't worry. Yeah. Taking notes, okay? Yes.
Hi YB, I'm Alifa, journalist from Health News site Code Blue.
Sorry again?
Alifa from
Alifa.
Health News site Code Blue, YB. I just have one question or point which I hope you can respond to or discuss in the closed door meetings. Code Blue reported yesterday that AIA, and I'm sure other insurance companies are also doing this, is seeking to limit coverage for advanced tests and pushing its panel hospitals to switch from innovator drugs to generics. I know there have been a lot of advocacy today to move from innovator to generic drugs, but it's important to note that not all branded drugs have generic equivalents. Like, for example, certain subtypes of breast cancer, I think Prof. Aisha can vouch for this, and you can only access these branded drugs with private insurance at private hospitals. So perhaps PAC can suggest regulation to only allow the shift from innovator to generics for drugs that only have equivalents and not a blanket no innovator drug policy. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Arifa. I think for just a quick response, maybe it's not proper for us to respond now because we are in the proceeding. So we have to be neutral and above board lah. Yeah. Okay, silakan.
Yeah, I'm Andrew Tan, pharmacist. Okay, one is I want to emphasize the primary care setting is very important in Malaysia. Primary care settings such as a GP clinic and community pharmacy. So here I would like to suggest that a individual medical card can be extended GP when we visit GP or we go to community pharmacy. And all this we can help the patient to save costs. Okay, then the other thing is whether government can, under the Madani government, can help to subsidize the B40 and M40, some of the insurance. And just now my president from Malaysian Pharmacy Society did mention about National Health Insurance Scheme. So whether it's time for Malaysia to transform the national healthcare system to have this National Health Insurance Scheme so that everybody, the baby born, you enjoy the insurance until you age. Then the other thing is car maintenance. We have NCD, right? Okay, so whether our dear colleague insurance here, whether can you give medical insurance to all the people with this NCD also? And the other point is prevention is better than cure. So I think it's time for government to encourage people to go into a healthy, to achieve fitness and healthy. So I think community pharmacy as a primary care provider can provide this service to all the people in Malaysia to achieve a healthy society and community. So thank you.
Thank you, Andrew, for your feedback. Yeah, Sila.
Afternoon, YB and ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to share my real case for my father.
What's your name?
Sorry, my name is Lim Jian Hui. The real case of my father. Okay, last year his medical insurance premium, he's 72, 71 last year, 72 this year. Last year his medical insurance premium is 15,583. It's not a fancy product, not very high limits, okay? Nothing changed for the past 22 years since he's buying this insurance. And we checked back the archive documents and we found out that in the policy schedule back in 2011 when Tokyo Marine acquired Asia Life, they revised the insurance premium, the premium schedule. The premium for the same age band, okay, for age 71 band to 75, is only 5,026 ringgit. What I wanted to point out here, I don't see this 5,000 to 15,000 in 13 years' time, okay, is true reflection of inflation. But more or less is due to their marketing strategy, or also to remind that PAC and Bank Negara, in year 2000 onwards, okay, there is a lot of merger and acquisitions take place in this country. Okay, we have a lot of small incorporated insurance now become, I would say, 100% of them become NMC company. So what if that time pricing was wrong? They are aggressively for the marketing and place the premium very low to attract the customer. And today, 20 years later, they come and punish the customer by changing the pricing from 5,000 to 15,000. I seriously don't think that is a right way of doing things. So, and if that the pool of their fund or their premium is inadequate, they should be applied for their new policy holder rather than the existing policy holder. And I also wanted to highlight over here that life insurance policy is a long-term commitment to our, to all of us, and especially for my father. I think his intention is for the purpose of mitigates the financial planning comes to this age. Instead of now become a burden, okay, to the family members who need to bond 15,000 for the premium for him. That is not a true intention. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Liu, for your input. Silakan.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Shah. So I'm an academic. So thank you for having this session. I think we need another session like this for scam issues. It's another mess we're having in this country. Yeah, PSC, take care of that. Okay, first point I have is why is that for insurance buying, we cannot buy it through online. Only for the small coverage we can do it. For bigger coverage, we cannot buy it from online. Point number two, why are we not having staggered consultation fees based on experience? Doctors, a lot of doctors, junior doctors are leaving the hospitals to set up their own clinics with no experience. And the poor, they will be benefiting if we have staggered fees based on the experience. And third point, why are we not consolidating the consultation fees and procedure? For example, recently I had a small touch-up at my eye. Doctor charged me for consultation and also for procedure. It comes to hundreds and I have to do it rounds. So we should actually put consolidate as one. Then point number four, why are we not given what you call rebate for good lifestyle in why don't we make it mandatory? Point number five, why we are not taxing heavily those profiteering hospitals and insurance companies and put back the money back to the premium of the. Point number six, why not we are making it mandatory to have prescription, and then all the doctors must give prescription, and then we can have competition in the medicine pricing. Point number seven, why are we not having quota for not-for-profit hospital, normal hospital, and health tourism hospital? We should maximize the quota for the not-for-profit hospitals. And then those health tourism hospitals, we need to put it in bidding, ask them to pay more, and government get more money. Point number eight, we need to have public rating for clinics and hospital as part of self-regulation. Just like we buy products online, we can give comment and rating so that we can make wise decision. Point number six, why are we not limiting the junk foods? Why is it sold widely? We need to limit this. We need to make the restaurants to sell healthy foods. We need to tackle the obesity problem.
Thank you, Encik Shah, for your input. Silakan.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jackson Lim from, I'm a pharmacist. I'm the General Secretary of the Malaysian Pharmacy Society, but I'm speaking as a pharmacist and also the constituent of the weirdest shaped constituency in Malaysia, which is Damansara. Okay, so I just want to highlight 3 points. First of which is we have been talking about hospitals the whole day. So it's such a hospital-centered care system that we have in Malaysia. And like what my colleagues from pharmacy as well as medicine have said, we need to have a stronger primary care system. We need to have interoperability. We need to be able to let patients move from one to another, from primary care to private hospital, to public hospital, back to primary care. Then we can have specialization, we can have better use of resources. And because right now we have a dual system, and that makes it very hard to move between systems, and that's something we need to address. And one of the ways to do so, I think it was mentioned a few times already, is the National Health Insurance System. And this is where we can actually move patients from A to B and so on and so forth. To date also, insurance do not cover services in pharmacies. They have limited coverage for GPs as well. And that's something that we need to address as well, so that we can actually allow primary care to take the precedence. Instead of my mom saying, I got a cut, I need to go to the hospital to see a specialist, I should go to a GP and have a proper referral system that refers from the GP straight to the correct specialization. So it's the infrastructure that we need to look at, and that is actually one of the big problems. The second one is actually to include more pharmacists and GP-led services in health coverage, like chronic disease management, vaccination services in community pharmacies. Like the recent MySejahtera coverage for influenza vaccine is great for the seniors, but we need to cover younger adults as well, because they are the ones traveling and they are the ones passing the disease back to the seniors at home that do not have the vaccine. So these are things that we need to look at, and people are actually dying from influenza and other diseases younger and younger, as the case of a very famous Taiwanese actress lately. Also, point of care testing. I'm also urging the government to consider if we can have claims and allow tax relief for digital items. We need to expand it to other things like point of care testing. Will allow tax relief for point of care testing at home, and also all the services that's related to that as well. On top of that, prescriptions. I also want to urge the government to consider that our consumers will get prescriptions so they actually understand the medication they take, and be able to actually look into what they are taking so that they are sure. And last but not least, although I'm not the right person to say so because I'm very well-rounded, we need to put more into prevention and NCD. Things like the root cause. I really enjoyed the teh tarik this morning, but I really shouldn't have it. Just want to highlight that point. Lastly, just to conclude, we need to address the root cause. Or not, we will be here 10 years' time talking about the next increase in premiums, the next increase of hospital charges. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jackson, and don't drink teh tarik anymore. Ya? Okay, silakan.
Okay, next. Pertama sekali, salam sejahtera kepada PAC, selamat tengah hari, dan yang berhormat, dan para hadirin. Saya datang hari ini sebab tercetus insurans premium yang meningkat mendadak.
Nama?
Wun. Meningkat berdadak. Mana saya bandingkan data yang 10 tahun berlaku kepada saya, jadi saya ambil average pada 5 tahun yang baru ni, tercetusnya kenaikan pada tahun 2020. Mana nilai yang saya dicas kepada saya adalah 500. Tahun yang kedua, pada 2021, yang meningkat kepada RM809. Okay. Jadi, saya pun buat komplain kepada syarikat insurans, di mana tahun yang ketiga, dia masih naik lagi. Pada tahun 2022, RM1,001. Dan tahun keempat, dia tidak naik, mana saya buat komplain terhadap insurance company dengan ejen. Tetapi yang malangnya, kontrak yang kita sign dengan syarikat insurans, dia telah beritahu pada kita orang, masa kita sign, kenaikan ada penilaian akan dibuat setiap 4 hingga 5 tahun. Tetapi disebabkan COVID yang melanda, dia bagi tahu saya kontraknya telah dibatal dan mereka mempunyai hak untuk membuat kenaikan. Ingat? Batalkan.
Kontrak dibatalkan.
Jadi pada tahun 2024 dia naik lagi. RM1,203. Dan pada hari ini, sebelum 2 minggu yang lepas, mereka menulis kepada saya melalui portal bahawa mengikut interim measure Bank Negara, nama Bank Negara dipetik, di mana dia kata dia akan naik polisi saya pada 1 hari bulan Mac sebanyak RM1,469.
Berapa peratus?
Kalau banding dalam 5 tahun, lebih kurang 300%.
Tak. Berbanding tahun lepas.
Tahun lepas, RM1,203. Di mana sebanyak lebih kurang 18 hingga 19% dia naik. Yang itu hak dia kata. Jadi masalahnya, sekarang kalau saya tengok daripada sana, alignment di antara bank dengan insurans tak bersama. Mengatakan bahawa 10%. Tapi saya terima 19%. Itu saya seorang. Ahli keluarga saya ada 5 orang. semua kena. Okey? Jadi satu sebab yang saya tertanya-tanya dah lama dah. Sebab saya keluar hospital, masuk hospital sebab ramai juga keluarga kan. Jadi apabila saya nak jawab soalan di sini, charge hospital. Ini berlaku yang sebenar, kes benar. Ini fakta.
Ya, dalam 1 minit ya.
Fakta daripada hospital A swasta dengan hospital B swasta bandingan dengan harga yang saya buat semakkan adalah beza dengan 100%. Maksudnya 24,000 daripada swasta A hospital kepada swasta B 12,000. Kenapa? Apabila saya tanya balik, sebab banyak perkara yang berlaku di mana mungkin charge-charge tertentu, mungkin doktor atau pakar-pakar yang lebih pandai present colourful presentation. Mungkin bezanya harga daripada sana. Jadi apabila kita tengok benda ni, macam mana kita nak selesai? Sebab ini impak bukan daripada satu kawasan, daripada seseorang, tapi kesemua industri ini terlibat. Jadi mereka mempunyai hak untuk batalkan kontrak yang dulu dan naik dengan harga premium yang dia orang berasa betul. Itu yang masalah yang kita terima sekarang.
Terima kasih.
Okey, baik.
Terima kasih Mr. Woon.
Okay, thank you Mr.
Okay.
Sim.
Silakan.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Harpreet. I'm from the Malaysian Pharmacist Society. First, I would like to put out a question, which I hope is answered maybe in the minutes or in another way. For the National Health Insurance System, what is the plan and how will the financing be done? So that's my question. And there is one proposal, which is if you look at Peningkatan Bayaran Premium Insurance and Charge Hospital Swasta, the main impact to Kesihatan Awam is of course congestion, because people may not be able to afford, so they will prefer to go back to government. And if you have a congestion there, you're going to end up having the similar problems, which is shortage of staff, and everything just escalates and snowballs. So we would like to suggest the current team, get together with the Ministry of Human Resource and put in a consideration that for primary care, for minor ailments, a pharmacist note can be used by HR. If that is possible to be done, it will actually already reduce the burden of cost on many of those who are in the category where they need to get an MC either from government hospital or they need to get an MC from a GP. Because minor ailments, actually, most of the time they can just recover at home. And finally, a comment. Doctors' fees have not been changed over, I think, 20 years, and community pharmacies don't even charge any fees to see them. So it is very curious that insurance premium rates keep on going up and are not regulated. I think this is something that everybody has to take note of, that the private primary sector are actually not being remunerated in the way that they should be, but insurance premiums keep going up. Thank you, that's all.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yes. Next.
I'm Wu Yu Tong, President of Prudential Life Insurance Association. My colleague just now has already addressed some of the points for government and also private hospital. I'm just to add on one more point on this insurance. The medical repricing happened, the reason given is the cost is more than the expectation. So it's fine for one, this is business rule, it's fine for company insurance to make certain profit, to retain the profit for the product sustainable. However, the cost, the claim has up and down. One factor they forgot to put in was the previous years where has lesser claim, which contributed more profit to the company. So to be fair, we are proposed to have actually have a clear mechanism where method of average profitability hitting threshold should be applied. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. Okay. Okay, you are the last man standing. Let's give everyone a big applause, yeah? Okay.
Thank you very much, YB.
Yes.
I want to thank the frontliners, especially doctors and nurses who work in all the government hospitals.
What's your name?
I'm Leonard Tan. I'm a general practitioner, insurance agent for 35 years. I've seen a lot of claims. I've talked to a lot of claims manager, and recently I've just brought. I'm going to submit these two documents for you. One is of the same sickness of one person, and then the other person who went to KKM in the Shah Alam, and then another person who went to private hospitals in Petaling Jaya, one of the famous hospitals. The fees are on the private hospital cost 85,000 for bacteria meningitis, but in the KKM it only states there 15,000. It's 500% increase. Why? There's a big margin between the private hospital and the government hospital. You take away $6,000 for his ward charges. The rest are all hospital charges are excessively charged. These are the documents I surrendered to you, and you can read it. Of course, my friend is above 55, and he gets a bigger discount. Okay, he only pays $500. Okay, so don't worry about going to a public hospital. I've been going in and out and helping customers to facilitate them to go to any Shah Alam hospitals or in town. Only one thing I have to say is, please upgrade your facility. You know, Shah Alam Hospital is such a new public hospitals, but their MRI machine is out of order or something is wrong somewhere. And these poor patients have to wait for their turn to either go to Klang or go to Sungai Buloh to have it done. But what to do? If you want to go to a private hospital, you pay for it. You don't have the medical insurance, so you just have to wait and wait and wait. So these two bills are all for almost identical stay in the hospitals. Okay. All right, but one is 75,000 and one is only 15,000. But the government gave her subsidies. Now, earlier on this morning, we heard of people and just now also asking the government to come up with a national health insurance program. If you compare to our Singapore, they have provided a MediShield Life. Okay, MediShield Life is governed by the Ministry of Health in Singapore, and it is being regulated in Parliament, definitely. Okay, and it is also it's a basic health insurance scheme that protects all Singapore citizens and permanent residents against large medical bills, regardless of age or health conditions. There you are. You cannot get any cover from anywhere. You go to MediShield Singapore. It is now mandatory. Our government here tells us to go buy SOXO. Yes, we buy SOXO, but they don't have this medical coverage if you are to be hospitalized for meningitis. And for those poorer M40 group, where do we go? If we don't have a plan, we got nowhere to go. So a national health policy is very vital for a long term. Okay? Collect the premium. Yes, it is a very low premium. It covers housewives at all and all your children. And you be assured you get the best. And I also ask MOH, please do something for your specialists. Your specialists are all leaving your government hospitals. All right? Many of them have left. And so certain of the government hospitals supposed to have this kind of operation, that kind of operation, they can't do it. They all have to be centralized. So that's a very big concern. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tan.
Thank you. Last questions, 1 minute. All right. I just want to go straight.
What's your name?
Dr. Tan Ai Mei. I've been working for the government for the past 30 years as a government policy formulator, researcher, as well as we have I have engaged through with the Malaysia Education Blueprint, Higher Education Blueprint, include a lot of policy feedbacks for the earlier government, including Anwar Ibrahim governments, okay? But we are sad because a lot of things, so much effort, we may work for years, for months, but once go up to the top, things, whether it's executed, is always history repeated, that history repeats itself. Okay, now, I'm going straight to the point, very straight. Number one, As for, I'm going to do this in 3 ways. Number 1, what is my issue? Number 2, challenges. Number 3, what is the policy enforcement which we have law in place going to be executed? Or it has to be executed by the government, be the Bank Negara, be the MOH, or together with YB, Mr. Sim here, how you facilitate the things to be done. Okay. 1, as for the teachers industry, all right, they have this policy plan, NUTP, National Union Teaching Profession, that's worked with insurance company, beginning with Great Eastern, later on to Maybank, Etika, and then finally presently is Prudential, BSN, Takafo. So all these policy, they have raised the premium that is fair enough under Maybank until the past 2 years taken over by Prudential. If their premium has raised already, let's say in the year 2023, more than 40 to 50%, 40%. In less than 2,000 to almost 3,000 for the medical card. For people who are at the age of 64, and in this year, present year is 65, the premium raised again, okay, in such a short duration that the government has stated, say, they can't do, and for senior citizens, they have to restrict it, give a grace period of 1 year. The premium raise is from 2023 for 100,000 Medicard, 3,330 ringgit premium, raised to 4,200, 28%. And it's going to be commenced in April. Let me finish. If we are serious and we are sincere, or else let's just forget all this talk. Okay, this is the first point, and I think this has been raised by so many illustrations here. Number 2, as for hospital, private hospital, they simply charge to that ridiculous amount. Many illustrations have been done. One thing maybe just 6 cents, you charge 1 ringgit. I think that is the kind of logic they are working on. I have a patient that was engaged with the endoscopy and colonoscopy. Could you believe that I did it 2 years ago? In Sunway is 3,000. And presently it's 6,000. Insurance company also refused to pay. I agreed with that. We pay more than 10%, and on top of that, still charging. Even complain, the bottom line, do not take note, and the upper management is up there. Ridiculous charges, including registration, 50 ringgit. Scan report come out again in less than 100 ringgit range. Hospitalization, the ward, I'm not warded or admitted, and the nurse taking care of me, 318 ringgit. That is from A to Z, some of the illustrations. That is enough. Number 3, pharmacy, drugs charges. A drug that costs 222 ringgit for 30 tablets, as charged in the hospital, they are charging 379. That is 67%. We understand the private pharmacy, we buy drugs from all these caring or AA, they have already charged 30 to 50% extra. And in other words, are they charging 100%? That needs to be taken note, and they have violated the law, and it's very clear cut. Healthcare, is it going to be a marketplace, or is it to be a healthcare for all? I needed the government to address this issue during the talk. Lastly, as for those, the premium charge, they have violated the law, right? And how this policy enforcement going to enforce, and how to us clients or Malaysian in general, how am I going to lodge a complaint? I don't think it's lodging the complaint. I am suggesting the government should take action and hold them back, and do not ask them to call them up to discuss, negotiate. I think these are very flimsy and suggestions that without the mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tan. And sir, I will attend to you later, okay? Because in the interest of everyone's time.
Yang berhormat, saya hanya nak umum mengetahui ada persoalan yang saya nak. Dua, sebenarnya isu yang berbangkit dua. Satu ialah kenaikan premium, satu ialah charge perubatan. Bermaksud dalam isu ni, adakah jaminan sekiranya dikawal selia kos perubatan, premium tak naik? Itu soalan yang perlu dijawab.
Okey, terima kasih
dalam
banyak.
isu ni, Bank Negara tidak menjawab soalan saya. Jadi kalau boleh PAC tolong. Soalan saya adalah berhubung dengan premium tidak dijamin yang dinyatakan ada dalam.
Nanti saya minta Bank Negara officer approach.
Tak ada, dia dah kasih 9 keputusan.
Tak apa, nanti kita dengar.
Dia cakap terma menindas, sedangkan peranan dan kuasa kawal selia ialah untuk memastikan pembelaan yang sewajar kepada pengguna kewangan. So macam mana tak ada garis panduan yang membolehkan kontrak meletakkan premium tak dijamin. Dan premium tak dijamin ini diletakkan bahagian manfaat. Nombor satu. Nombor dua, pihak.
Okeylah. Minta maaf, okey. Ya. Okey, kita kena rumuskan. Terima kasih. Nanti saya jumpa Encik. Okey, baik. Faham. Nanti kita jumpa you, Okey, sila. Alright, terima kasih kepada semua yang bertahan selama berjam-jam di sini. Okey, saya ingin mengumumkan di sini. Tadi kita ada rekod Rustia telah bagi tahu kepada kita bahawa seramai 578 telah daftar dan hadir pada pagi ini. Bagi satu tepukan kepada semua. Kedua adalah seramai, kalau saya ikut rekod saya, 51 orang yang telah bercakap. Ya. Jadi kita telah mendengar semua pandangan dan juga aduan dan juga semua cadangan daripada pelbagai sektor, pelbagai pihak. This is what public hearing is about. Yeah? We want to listen as wide as possible. Okay? And then, we are all here because we belong to the same ecosystem. The ecosystem is called Malaysian. We are all Malaysian. We are born, we will get old, we will get sick, and we will end up in hospital someday, one way or another. Jadi, it is important that the nation must come together to find a solutions because of the rising prices of medical health inflation, and also medical charges in hospital, insurance, and also ubat-ubatan. And then the doctors are not paid enough; they are leaving the service. Okay, there's also the doctors' fees has not increased for past 15 years. So there's also there's a lot of challenges. That's why we have a public hearing to hear everyone's view. Today we meet and we listen. We concluded the public hearing. From Monday onwards, we will have 10 very intensive, very long, closed-door sessions with all the stakeholders, including government officers and also government agencies. That's where we drill down to find good solutions for everyone. This window is closing. We cannot wait too long to reform, okay? Because the window of opportunity, the Bank Negara has set an interim for 3 years. It will start revising in 2026. And if it open up again, there's a cliff effect, which was, if we don't find a solution this 1 or 2 years, the whole medical insurance cost will go up, and then we will have a disaster. That's why PAC is working frantically and very urgently, try to find solution and engage with all the stakeholders. Hopefully, we can conclude this proceeding in 3 years. That's not 3 years, 3 months. And we will submit our report in the next parliament sitting, which is in June. And hopefully the government will then take up the reform, our laporan, and do the necessary reform and bring up all the bills, the regulations, the ACTA to be debated end of the year, if possible. And we can pass the law at the end of the year or next year, early of next year, if everything goes to plan. So this is where you are playing a very important role, which is to keep pressure and speak up, because we are all in together. If you want us to fight, you fight together with us, okay? We cannot fight without you. We want to go forward, we want to fight for this issue, we need public support and public engagement together. Yes, it has to be seen to be done. Today is the first step. Today is a very first beginning, a new beginning, and we fight together. Itu saja daripada saya. Sekian, terima kasih. Sia-sia, nandri vanakam. I give to YB Teresa to conclude.
No, I'm not going to make a long speech. Just want to say that some of you have made really good points. Boleh saya cadangkan supaya yang apa yang anda bentangkan dengan point yang panjang lebar itu boleh bagi black and white email kepada Secretariat. Because your 3 hours here, these few ladies are going to record every word that you say. But you know, if you want to give a more comprehensive one, just pass to them black and white. Okay, so we hope that like what YB Sim say, we're going to do something hopefully can have an impact, you know, to bring some changes in the laws and the policies. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, we have a sediakan QR code. If you want to give your whatever email or whatever comment, you can continue to scan the QR code and you fill in all your comments. Itu saja, sekian, terima kasih, sia-sia, nandri vanakam.